Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first and overdue edition of the Monday Night Shop Talk show, brought to you by Mean Diesel Inc. and Trucking, your company for all-purpose jobs, including demolition, excavation, and moving of waste. Be sure to give the guys at Mean Diesel Inc. and Trucking a phone call. Thank you, Mean Diesel Inc. and Trucking, for sponsoring this video and this stream. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe down below, and be sure to leave me a comment with your questions. This is all truck related questions, medium duty semis, dump trucks, from F-750s to top kicks to everything else in the day in life of a guy who does this work for a living. Sorry, there was a mishap on one of the streams I did. That was just a kind of a out of the blue situation. So I do apologize for those who got offended, and particularly those who have been DMing me. And but I do appreciate everybody for taking the time out of their day to listen to Monday Night Shop. There is a link for you to call in to ask any questions any further in regards to that. I did drop the link, so if you got any questions, please feel free to comment down or at least join me here tonight. I do want to go over some stuff that I've been doing with a customer of mine in particular. So my customer just bought two new Peterbilts. Okay, get this. And I just went over, checked all them over, and the one thing I will tell people to be aware of, especially if you buy a Peterbilt dump truck or a septic tank truck, if you have a septic or dump truck business, is just to be aware of your service hours. And particularly what I say is change the transmission fluid out of them trucks every 12 to 13,000 miles. Because the Allisons are sensitive if you don't change them after a certain amount of time. And quite frankly, I've had people ask me about that personally about when they should change their transmission fluid and rear differential. Rear differential, you should do every 80,000 miles. On the contrary, so with the pickup truck, it's 60,000, medium duty 60,000 miles, semi to dump truck and anything like that, large to a T300, T300 F750 up that way. Up that neck of the woods is 80,000 miles. Because the gear ratio is able to handle a little bit more power and torque. If you were to look at the service manual, depending on what truck you buy. I do want to address also the other parts too. That if you do have any questions, you can please feel free to comment down below, and feel free to ask me, you know, the questions, because I've been getting a lot of people to ask me like, hey, you if there's something that you guys need help with or advice with, that's what I'm here for. And particularly, I'm here just to help and give people advice, because quite frankly, people, I've said this before, people have mistakenly have said, like, hey, Hayden, there's something in my truck that I need help with. There's something I need, like, I need help with. There's stuff I've had that situation before. So I figured I'd just address it on the air just so everybody knows. I am I'm here to address those comments. So if you watched Friday, I had a special guest return. Burks the Wolverine, the most hated Wolverine fan on the planet. By the way, if you guys don't know the history with Burks, he got kicked off by those Michigan channels for speaking the truth about their program, which I told him coincidentally, I do agree Michigan needs to go back to their ways of doing the old program. But I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot that I've said about those comments, and I've got into those a few times, that I'm not going to get into them again, because I've raged on Michigan fans enough to the point I about broke my lungs and my vocal cords just doing that. So, bear with me for a moment. I'm moving. bear with me here a moment. Put on a good hat for the show. Put on the real hat. Thank you. Okay, are we good? Thank you. So, I am back and back in it. But if you did not catch that last, feel free to check it out. As always, click like, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Twitter at Caden the Diesel Freak, where you can get more insights and you can ask your questions. And be sure to like, comment, and be sure to follow me here on YouTube because you don't want to miss out on more content coming. Oh, yeah, and trust me, I've got plenty more content coming here in the next couple of days and weekend. The weekend, I'll be returning Friday night. Friday night will be also the return of Friday night. Will be the return of not Friday night SmackDown, but Friday night. Friday night. Not Friday night. Friday night. Friday night. Fight. Will be back. That's Friday night fights. Live. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific time. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and I do appreciate everybody who hits the like button, comments, and hits the subscribe button because that's just the one way that helps me substantially on this YouTube algorithm, and quite frankly, I'd say. But as you can see, the Zach Bourne photo from previous post and a wall of John Deere hats, quite frankly, and some other hats and stuff in the background there. I'm gonna move it just. That's a candle. I got that as a birthday present. I'll clear my room out because as a mechanic, it really stinks in here, quite frankly. So, but like I said, if y'all haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and be sure to follow me here on social media. But I think the one main difference is, especially back to maintenance instructors, who you deal with. So they'll tell you either that they have a better tire warranty service. There's things that they do, but particularly I tell people, if you were to buy, in this, for instance, a pickup truck, specifically a diesel, if you were to buy a diesel, I recommend you a bunch of things, including kits and stuff to save your fuel system, your cooling system, especially your the actual life of the engine. I've done plenty of those within the last 8 years, and they've really helped me and saved my buddies' backs a few grand of parts and whatnot. So I do just want to mention that just so everybody knows, like, oh, hey, you know, so I just figured I'd address that. I had a commenter from Always Irish Radio reach out to me and like my phone call this morning on Always Irish Radio, which shout out to John Kennedy and the Always Irish Radio crew for that opportunity. I love their crew and team, and excuse me, folks, but I've always loved their crew over there at Always Irish Radio. Shout out to John Kennedy and all of them over there, and all their support, and quite frankly, but I'm also posting out the link on my Twitter. If you don't know, Cade the Diesel Freak on Twitter, check it out. But quite frankly, I will say there is a lot that I've been hearing Commander Luke, what are you up to today, my good guy? Commander Luke, a member of the Always Irish Radio crew and also a follower of mine. Shout out to him and his effort and his uh, I'm on here just having a good time, sir, and I appreciate you watching the show, my good friend. You're always welcome to join the show. Stream Luke's available. Um, Sorry, I'm hosting it on my Twitter. Y'all don't know. Twitter, Caden the Diesel Freak. Follow that. But I was pointing out to John, like, this, and I'll get to Notre Dame here in a minute. Notre Dame, good gosh, that's a 12-0. Just parked the diesel truck until the morning. Well, Commander Luke, I'll tell you what, you got a good routine, my friend, and you're always welcome to join in on the channel. You hear the just keeping up with a lot of news, and I'll tell you what, it's a ridiculous amount of it. But any decent questions you could please feel free to ask me. That's why the link's in here. And then just any other general questions you guys can always feel free to ask me. That's what I really just tell people, especially on here. Anyways, there's that. And then also, I mentioned that Notre Dame. I always love Notre Dame fans to call in, but unfortunately, I don't get many Notre Dame fans to call in. I get Burks, and then that's it. Taking that, or Luke, you're welcome to join the show here tonight. Well, Commander Luke, sometimes I gotta bring the thunder for you guys because nobody else will unless Louise is in. But Louise is, I did it in Louise's honor, and I love Louise. And if you don't know, Always Irish Radio has one of the best channels. So, Commander, if you could tell John Kennedy, I love his channel and I love all y'all over there at the Always Irish Radio. That's one thing I always tell people that is enjoyable is your guys' show, and it's unbelievable. And I will say it is the best time ever. And quite frankly, it's one of the best. So I am keeping up. Well, you know what, Commander Lou? I mean, listen. This morning I just did what I did, and quite frankly, I just I've taken too many shots at him within the last several months. But I do appreciate you, Commander Luke, as always. You and Always Irish Radio family and all everybody else there. I will tell you the most interesting part is I had I don't know if you saw, I had Burks on, and that was really cool to have Burks, the most hated Wolverine. Him and I were just discussing some things, and he was just mentioning that actually he used to leave him a whole bunch of chat comments, and I always tell him, you know what, if I'm not the only one who can do it, then Burks the Wolverine can do it. So I always I have a lot of respect for Burks, and he does it way better than me, quite frankly. But I do appreciate Burks and you as always, and everybody over at the Always Irish Radio channel. but I am going to repost. Okay, so you do. I am going to repost the link, so give me 1 second. So if anybody wants to call in, feel free to. Um, that's why I have the link. I know. Burks is unbelievable, Commander Luke. I do love the background shot too. With the Irish, with the flag and the beaten leprechaun. Uh, but I do want to say Burks is now an exclusive member of this channel, along with everybody else who watches this show. So if you haven't already, like I said, subscribe, like, comment. You know the drill. But on Twitter, I had to address it also, with everything else going on. And quite frankly, I really just have a lot. Sorry, I was just putting out the link again to on my Twitter. That's K the Diesel Freak on Twitter. Um, but the one thing I really discussed with Bergs was particularly how, you get the average day and people are posting the most ridiculous stuff on the internet. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is absolute wow. In my career, it's like, oh, you get something and it's like, oh wow. Um, sorry, I came up on my for sales stuff and it's like, uh, I just seen a watch on here for sale that was really freaking cool. Um, but I do want to also say, like, you know, this is one of the more interesting stuff that you might find on the internet. And it's like, I don't believe that there's like, so and so and so and so, and then it's like, what? It just surprises me. And quite frankly, I just find it surprising. Uh, with what's going on. Oh, if you didn't know, I am trying to expand my uh and then recently I announced also, um I am going to be doing some more stuff on here, so if you're interested, hit the subscribe button. But there is one thing that I will say in particular with tonight's, particularly in this case, or the channel wise, I'll still be doing stuff on here. The days, well, Friday night I will be returning. Saturday night will be, or Saturday afternoon we'll be back. That's 2 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, and 1 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 specific, or 2 Central, 1 Pacific. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 Pacific time. And well, tonight on the Monday edition of Shop Talk, it's Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So, but there was one thing I will say that really had some really interesting news. Yes. 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 Sorry. I was meaning to repost the link to the channel. Then again, and forgive me, I'm just having one of those evenings, so I just checked, see my internet's still good. Somebody reached out via message me, complaining about my comments, and I do want to address that person has been told, like, oh, speaking of which, we got another guy in here, the other guy, Gax. What's up, my man? You know what, Commander Luke? It was just I told the truth about Ohio State, and I had to address the issues with Ohio State that I saw and that I, was seeing and talking with other Ohio State fans, but they were too blind to see it. And quite frankly, that's why I had to address the elephant in the room, Commander Luke. But I do appreciate the question. But Commander Luke, like I said, I'm free for your calls. Daniel, I am open to take your calls, sir. There's a link, obvious. There's a link, so anybody can join. The College Football Mafia, by the way, most unbelievable YouTube channel today. That's where you can find Daniel, Mo, and Nathan, Professor Ute, and Rock and Rant, and I think I'm missing somebody. Becky Go Huskies. That's a great YouTube channel for college football for their conversations and the whole shenanigans going on with the PSSA, the Protect College Sports Act, which I've said needs to pass. And, this crap needs to come to an end, quite frankly. But I do appreciate Daniel Gygax popping in. Commander Luke, as always. You guys are the best, and it'd be a shocker to have John Kennedy in here. Actually, it'd be a pleasure to have him in here just to answer any of his questions, especially Commander Luke and all. Nay, Luis. I mean, I would appreciate, the Always Irish fam and Lee to come in because you know what? Forget about my own fan base. Yeah, they've really turned downhill. Um, but anyways, see, am I gonna make this shot look like? And yes, made it. Sorry, I had something stuck. But yeah, you know what? My own fan base has turned downhill, and quite frankly, I was done with them. So, um, but no, my YouTube channel, I do want to make it clear, my YouTube channel is done by me and me only. I don't work for anybody. This is uncensored and unapologetic, and well, quite frankly, my way. So, just so everybody knows that it is only me who runs this show. So, if anybody's asking, no, I do not have a co-host. I'm just doing the shows by myself. I do have Daniel Gygax popping in sometimes, which I do appreciate Daniel Gygax for popping in. My good friend, Mr. Gygax, the other Gygax on Twitter, one of the key members of the College Football Mafia. But I will say, one of my buddies was doing the UEFA League Championships announcements, which were really cool. Which I thought was really cool, and the UEFA League is of soccer. Was really awesome. So say that was always a pleasure to do. Uh, but that's just what's going on today. But like I said, do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe, and be sure to follow me. Again, that's Kate the Diesel Freak YouTube, Kate the Diesel Freak Twitter, and some other good things. So, trying to think of else. Speaking of which, we have somebody in the chat. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is the one, the only close friend of mine, College Football Mafia's very own smart man slash shorts guy, Daniel Gygax. Mr. Gygax, how are you doing today, sir? First time you see in the face of the man behind.
No, I've been on here before showing your face. It's
Okay, I just wasn't sure if it was like, but yeah, this is my ugly face.
here's the first thing that we were taught. Don't be afraid to show your face. Always make sure that you're lit. No matter because your emotions and expressions help a lot. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. They want to see the real you on camera.
Right.
Um
But how are you doing today, my friend? It's
uh well, we we were having we were having a running bet there for a while. You were talking about that Protect College Sports Act. There is no way, if you just look at the congressional calendar, and the only reason why I know any of this, my mom is probably one of the few people that does not live in DC that watches C-SPAN, their their morning show. I can't remember what
Right.
it's called. Washington Journal. She watches it every morning. And she asked me questions about it because it was brought up on one of the panel discussions that they had. She's like, what is it about? What are they asking for? And all this other stuff. Thursday, whenever they start throwing amendments at it, especially Friday, whenever they really threw amendments at it, it was basically people in Congress, the people in the Senate, if you want to kill a bill without saying you're killing a bill, throw amendments at it at the last second, knowing that you're not going to get a 100% voice vote. It's going to go back into committee and it will die. This bill is dead. I think I lost you.
No, I was just trying
Oh,
to grab something, so I was
hold on.
letting you finish, sir.
Hold on. I gotta pull that back up.
But
Slid
you
on
know
me.
what? You make a good
Yeah.
point, Daniel Guy Jackson. You make a very valid point
Yeah.
that it's not going to pass. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, I don't believe it's going to pass, but I've heard people say it's going to pass. It's going to pass. But
If
then
you would have told me 2 weeks ago, whenever whenever they were doing a head count, they had you have to have 60 votes to get anything to pass through the Senate. And they had 60-ish votes. I can't remember the exact number, but they had enough to get a floor vote on it. Then they had 60 votes to get a floor vote. It's dead. It's dead. Um, now, I don't care. I'll be honest with you. I don't care. And a lot of it has to do with I really do not want people in DC dictating how college athletics should be ran. They
no,
don't
and
they
I agree with you
Yeah,
personally.
they don't have a say. I mean, Congress has no say so on how the NFL is ran, how the NHL is ran, how baseball is ran,
How the NBA ran.
none of them, none of the pro sports have any. I mean, I'm sorry, Congress has no jurisdiction on any of the pro sports. Now there are certain things out there like the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 that was set up to where that they would protect college from the NFL because the NFL, no kidding, for even up until the 50s, they would still play games on occasion on a Saturday during the college football season. So that was a way to say, okay, we'll let you pull all your media rights together as long as you are not in competition against college football. That's the reason why you have Monday Night Football. That's the reason why you have Thursday Night Football. After the season ends, oh, and Friday. NFL couldn't play on Friday from Labor Day to Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So that's the reason why you've got a game on Thursday, you got a game on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll be honest with you. Tuesday, Wednesday are the lowest rated days on the calendar that you have for broadcasting anything.
Except if you're airing like a TV show or comedy series.
Well, even then, let's look at numbers for Conference USA and Maction. They're I mean, a big Maction game. Let's say you've got
Kent State and Bowling Green State.
no. I was going to bring up Eastern Michigan. Let's say Eastern Michigan was number one, and they're in the Detroit market. Eastern Michigan is not that far from where Detroit's airport's located at. Let's say you've got Eastern Michigan, and then in first place you've got Miami. and that is the Cincinnati market. So you've got enough there to bleed into those two markets to where you can get over 1 million views on that game.
Right.
Most of them are a shade under 1 million, and let's say, well, ESPN doesn't have the baseball contract anymore, but let's just say that
I think
ESPN,
CBS has, or Fox that
Fox,
has.
Fox has baseball now, but let's just say that ESPN wants to show a preseason, let's say, Lakers Knicks game.
Right.
Guess what number that's going to get? It's going to get a lot bigger number, even though it's a preseason Laker Knicks game, because you're looking at media market 1-2. Knicks just won the championship. Oh yeah, by the way, the Lakers still
Gave away
print money.
LeBron.
Yeah. Even without LeBron's in Philadelphia now.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter because the Lakers are the Lakers are the Lakers. You haven't been able to get a season ticket down in Los Angeles for the Lakers for, I don't know, probably
That was since
50 years.
not even season tickets went down. Season tickets really started to go up when Kobe Bryant was really hot with the Lakers.
No, 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 no.
I
They
mean, like
sold. They sold
where
out.
from
They
where I stood, you
Yeah,
know,
but
because
they
Kobe
sold
Bryant was
out.
the Lakers. It's like the
Yeah,
guy sold out arenas.
but they sold out every game in the Forum in Inglewood back in the day. Back in the 80s, whenever they picked up Magic Johnson, it was you couldn't get a ticket in Los Angeles to watch a Lakers game. Um, here's
Those are
something. Here's something.
Fantastic Five.
Here's something local here. The Warriors before they picked up Steph Curry, Warriors were awful. But guess what? You still filled the building up in Oakland, and now they're across the bay in the city. But you couldn't get a ticket in Oakland to watch the
The
Warriors
Warriors.
play. And the Warriors have one of the larger arenas in basketball. The place sat close to 20,000, and good luck. That place was packed, and that place is loud, even whenever they were lousy. I mean, this team was awful until they got Curry to show up.
Even when they signed Durant and Draymond Green, the
Well, that
place.
was before. That was before that. They won that first championship in 2015. They had Klay Thompson, Draymond Green already on staff. They had Andrew Bogut at center. The next year, they had that was their 73-9 season. They lost to that was 2016. They lost to Cleveland in 7 games, and they were up three. Warriors were up 3-1, and what was it?
It was 3-1, and the Lakers took
Yeah,
back
they were no
4-1.
Cavaliers came back. Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, they were up 3-1 in the final. Game 4, Draymond Green got like his like third tech of the playoffs or something like that. Had to sit a game. So he was out game 5, and that game 5 was in Oakland, game 6 back in Cleveland, game 7 in East Oakland.
And even like when the Lakers when the Warriors were on the championship runs, they
Yeah.
would sell the place out.
Well, like I said, the Lakers are the Lakers are the Lakers. They're
And the
going to fill
Warriors
that.
are the Warriors.
Yeah, but here was something interesting. I live here. I live in this area. I've got Gatorade. I live in this
I say
area,
because I don't know.
and you never
I don't know if you saw this, but
yeah, I've seen that. I've got the diet version in my fridge. Though
it's good.
yeah, the Warriors never had to put a single advertisement out for season tickets whenever they were in East Oakland. I'm now getting ads for season tickets there in the city for the Warriors. I've never seen that because they would sell 14,000 season tickets and then have to turn around and what was it? They sold 14,005 in season tickets. They had another 500 with different suites that they had, and then they had 5,000 what they called float, which was individual game tickets that they would sell to the games. They never had that in Oakland, and now they've got. I'm seeing ads to buy Warriors tickets there in the city. But also, um, tell me this isn't somebody that's got deep pockets. Joe Lacob, who owns the Warriors, he built the arena not quite totally out of his own pocket, but he's carrying a lot of the debt for building that arena. And ticket prices, if in the lower deck, ticket prices doubled. If you're in the any of the suites or club areas, stuff like that, they tripled. Upper deck tickets went up. Like if you were in upper deck in Oakland, it was about $50 a game, and now it's like 120. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and by the way, there is no parking there in that area. You have to park at the baseball stadium and walk over. And there's no
I mean,
parking at the baseball
walking
stadium
from
either.
the baseball stadium to the arena's not that terrible.
No, 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 no. We're not talking that far. Hold on. Let me pull that up real quick.
Well,
But
can I
there's
also
really no parking there.
can I also just say this? Like the oh, what is it? Um, the way that the Warriors have done an amazing job with their team. It's really amazing, and I really got to give them their due. But Daniel, there was some things I was wanting to address with you also.
Uh huh.
With the Mountaineers, because my question was, and I meant to ask you this during the Friday freaking show. By the way, always a great show with you and
I haven't been on the Friday show in a while. A lot of it had to do with um, my schedule changed a little bit. So,
well, I
uh,
mean, still, there was. I wanted to ask you about your Mountaineers and how you're feeling, and I've listened to Mountaineer Paul, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the Mountaineers this year.
cautiously optimistic. Here's the problem that worries me the most with the Mountaineers right now. Um, I don't know how good that offensive line is. On paper, it is better than what we had last year. Last year's offensive line was supposed to be okay, but that offensive line was awful to the point where, how can I say it? That offensive line was an issue. And I don't care how good of a wide receiver you have. I don't care how good of a running back you have. I don't care if that quarterback is a 5 star. If you have an offensive line that has issues, you are not going to win games. And they had to play in Athens. WVU had to play in Athens, Ohio last year. That was a part of a 2-on-1 deal that was
With
signed a couple of years ago.
that was the Ohio University game,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Ohio Bobcats, yes. And
I was gonna say, didn't you guys win that game?
no, it is the first time WVU has lost to a. It was the first time in history WVU lost to a MAC team, and they went through 3 quarterbacks. 2 got hurt. They had to bring a third one in. They could not run. They could not throw. Every single time that you had a 3-step drop, quarterback was down. Anytime that you were going to try to hand off, running back was down. It really made it to where it really hurt that team. And I don't care. I mean, I don't care what level of football you're at. You live and die by your offensive line.
Right. You
It,
don't just live and die by your offensive line.
yeah,
You you have to have that. You
yeah.
also have to have your tight end because your tight end makes the big difference in
It
the
does.
fullback.
But if you're front five, you can have a great tight end. But if your front five is bad, and they were bad, and they went through and changed line combinations, pulled guys off the bench, and it just they went 4-8. I mean, plain and simple, they went 4-8. Um, WVU's schedule is pretty friendly to them. The first 5 games, they have Coastal Carolina game 1, UT Martin game 2, game 3 they have to play UVA in Charlotte, and anytime.
That should be an interesting game in my opinion.
That's the game. That's the game that's going to tell me how good this team is throughout the year. Anytime WVU plays in Charlotte, there's a lot of blue and gold. I mean, they show up in Charlotte. Well, you've got a lot of alums. You got a lot of people from West Virginia that have moved down to the Carolinas. Justin Walker, Couz's corner. He lives in Princeton, West Virginia. It is a shorter drive for him to go down to Charlotte to watch that WVU game than what it is for him to go to Morgantown.
Right.
It's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from his house in Princeton down, and it's about 4.5 hours from Princeton, West Virginia up to Morgantown. So now you're looking at like I said, you've got a lot of Mountaineers in that area. The last time WVU played in Charlotte was the 2023 Mayo Bowl. They had UNC there, and WVU fans outnumbered UNC fans there 2-1 in the state of North Carolina. So
it's going to be interesting for the Mountaineers this season.
It is going to be interesting.
But let me ask this to you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Besides the Mountaineers and them at least looking decent this season with Coach Rodriguez, building the talent that he has right now, but I see a lot more better guys coming in the future. It's just taking that time and patience.
I was
roster.
I was at Mountaineer Field, the 2001 Backyard Brawl. That was Rod's first year as head coach. They went 3-8 that year. Pitt came in there and beat them. It was in the middle of a snowstorm. It was cold. And I want to say announced attendance for that game was somewhere around like 50,000 change. And at the time, the building sat 63,000. That was before they built the suites there at Mountaineer Field. And they took the end zone out and all this other stuff. Now it sits 60,540. So they took out about 3,000 seats, give or take. So they went 3-8 that year. Oh, but there was one notable win. That team is now a current Big Ten member.
Was it? Can I at least give a guess?
I'll give you a guess. He was on the schedule that WVU beat by 80. That dropped.
Now let me be clear. It's not my Ohio State Buckeyes, correct?
No. They were not in the Big Ten. They were not in the Big Ten.
Well, let me guess. They played Ohio State, but they played WVU.
Not that season. That season they only played WVU.
Okay. Michigan, I'm thinking?
No. They were not in the Big Ten then in 2001.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Maryland?
No, WVU lost to Maryland at the beginning of the season.
Let me see. Rutgers?
State University of New Jersey, Rutgers. It was 80-3.
Rutgers? Oh my God! No wonder we beat them so many times. It's like, what?
Rutgers has never been a good football team, but they did. I want to say, what was it in
It was 02.
No. 06, I believe. Rutgers did get into the top 10 with Greg Schiano. 06 or 07, one of the two.
06.
Something like that.
Yeah,
that they got into the top 10 with Greg Schiano, and WVU throttled them in Morgantown.
Yeah, and then WVU was on their way to a national championship with Rodriguez with his first time in the national championship.
Yeah, don't remind me.
And that was, in my opinion, WVU should have went to the national championship game against Ohio State.
I was working that night. I was running the shift. I was active duty Air Force. I was running the shift. It was Saturday night. I didn't really get a chance to pay attention to the game. The guy that was I was lead tech. The guy that was our pro soup. Um, he trying to remember where he's from. He was from somewhere in North Carolina. Came up to me. He's like, "You do not want to see what happened on the game." It's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's like, it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Sure, Carl. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're full of it. And then walk into where our dispatch office is at, pull up ESPN.com, and I'm just sitting there staring at the score, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, this is a joke. You are kidding me.
But you know what?
Um,
That because Alabama costed WVU that national championship. Well, because of the rankings, that was what in the first place.
well, let me explain. And this was something that a friend of mine, and we've talked about before. Um, Rich Rodriguez is the reason why Nick Saban went to Alabama.
That's true.
Let's go back. 2006, Rich Rodriguez was signed, sealed, delivered, going to uh, going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I mean, it was done deal. His wife went down to Tuscaloosa and was like, and his wife, West Virginia native, was like, I don't like it here. He signs a 5 year, what was it? He signs a 4 year extension at WVU to stay there at WVU for another, no, 5 year extension with a fairly hefty buyout, saying, I'm not leaving, I want to stay here. Oh yeah, by the way, to let you know, Coach Rod grew up 25, 30 miles south of Morgantown. I mean, he grew up in the area. He played
In
football at
Mountaineer
WV.
Country too.
Huh?
He was from Mountaineer Country there.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
he his first coaching job was a GA at WVU. His he played 4 years at WVU as a walk on. It, I mean, his whole family was WVU guys. So whenever he left to go to Michigan, was
That's when
quite
people started to be like,
that
"You
was that was quite the shock. Everybody was wondering what was going on. Did we miss something? Is there something deeper we don't know about?
No, and I completely understand that, Daniel. But here's my thing: if Rich Rodriguez and the Mountaineers went to the national championship in '06, '07, I mean,
He would
it
have
would.
never left. He would have never left. He would have never.
But it
It
also
would have.
would
It
history.
it would have changed. There's 3 games that since I've been alive. I'm 52. There are 3 games that changed the trajectory of WVU football. First one, WVU went 11-0. 19 went to the '89 Fiesta Bowl. WVU was 2. Notre Dame was 1. Notre Dame won that game because let's just say that there was a weird injury to the quarterback Major Harris for WVU. Um,
By the way,
there,
1989 and that 89, 90 team was one of the
no,
best teams in
this
the.
was 89-90. I mean
Well, that's what
88-90. 88-90. They went they went 11-0 and they lost their bowl game.
to
The
Notre Dame.
To Notre Dame. In 1991, whenever the SEC was looking around to try to find teams to join, they picked up South Carolina out of the ACC, and they picked up Arkansas. And the rumor was that WVU was going to get Arkansas spot. Arkansas leaving the Southwest Conference killed the Southwest Conference.
That's what really screwed over Southwestern
Okay.
Conference.
Then 1993, WVU goes undefeated again, 11-0. And at the time, there was no bowl, like, it was before the bowl coalitions and stuff like that. So, whatever conference that you were in, and WVU was in the Big East, you had to play a bowl game versus whoever else. So, at the time, Nebraska, who was undefeated in the Big Eight,
Wasn't that the
played,
Big Ten?
no, Big Eight. That
Okay,
was before the
Eight.
Big 12. This is 1993.
Okay,
Nebraska was undefeated in the Big Eight, and they had to play at the Orange Bowl against the ACC winner, which was a 10-1 Florida State. WVU was locked into the Sugar Bowl via the Big East. So, due to that, they played a 10-2 Florida. So you had two undefeated teams that were not able to play each other due to the way the bowl contracts were written. That changed. They had something called the BC Bowl Alliance first, and I want to say that was in 85.
The Bowl Alliance National Championship?
Yeah. Bowl Alliance was 85. Then the BCS came up
in the 90s.
Came a part of that in 98, I believe. 97 or 98.
97.
I know Tennessee was the first BCS champion, and it was the year after Peyton Manning left, so I want to say it was 98.
98.
But
also Ohio State was BCS champions before.
No, there was no BCS before 97.
No,
yeah, 98.
We played in the BCS and then won the BCS.
Yeah, yes, you did. That was the last BCS. That was before the
playoff.
Before they started the CFP. So that was in 2014.
2014. And then we won the first college football playoff national championship.
Okay, that was it. You won the first one in 2014.
And then we won a few BCS titles in 2002.
Yeah. Yes.
03.
Yes. So if WVU would have won that one, and
they would have went to a national title.
They would have a national championship. And whenever the SEC was looking at teams again in the late 90s, WVU could sit there and say, hey, look, we've got a natty now. Come get us.
No, and I know Ohio State would have been the team to say, hey,
yeah,
that's our national championship.
But Ohio State is safe in the Big Ten. Nobody is ever going to leave the Big Ten. Nobody is ever going to leave the SEC. No way. Forget it. You've got too much money tied up in it.
It's not even just too much money. It's too much talent, too.
Well, money helps.
Well, and then when you offer so much money for a player, it's like, what? Say now?
Yes, no, and sort of. I mean, money helps, but I can still point to a team in Queens right now that is the worst team in Major League Baseball that has the second highest payroll in the MLB, and they're awful. And then I can point to, the Mets. And then I can point to a team down in St. Petersburg, Florida with the Tampa Bay Rays, and they're leading the division. I don't think they're the best team in Major League Baseball. I don't follow baseball hardly at all.
No, they are not.
I don't. Hold on. Now I'm going to have to look. Hold on.
But here's my thing about, teams that play in, the championship. It's like, the story, or not even with recruiting. So I don't know if you're familiar with Ohio State's Hall of Famer, Andy Ketzenberg.
He was a linebacker.
Yep. 21 schools turned down an offer him because he was oversized for the middle linebacker position. And Ohio State offered him Yep, John Cooper reached out, and he was a native to Cincinnati. Now, WVU, what I heard, WVU was the one school that was going to offer him, but he wasn't going to be a full-time starter. But John Cooper,
WVU offered him a defensive line spot. That was done under Don Nealon.
but then he took the linebacker position because, I mean, he played linebacker at a size that people
Yeah.
didn't think that would move. And that's at 6'3", 260 pounds. I'm 6'3".
You want to know how many 6'3", 260 linebackers there are in NFL today?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty.
Especially inside, interior. Especially if you're running, if you're running a 3-4, both those guys are about 6'3", 260 now. It's just the size difference that you have, and
well, it's also the way that Kesselmoyer was.
Yeah.
He was a genetic freak, and at that time, nobody saw a linebacker bigger. You don't find linebackers that are big, especially on the interior side of the ball, that can knock people out like just cold and clean.
Yeah, I mean, because things changed the way that they do.
Well, and then also Ketzimer was a once in a lifetime talent at the interior linebacker position, but also you think about how many people were hit by him so many times. You think he broke the son of a gun in half.
Who drafted him? I want to say it was
the New England Patriots.
That was it. I was sitting there thinking, it's like, I was trying to remember who drafted him. I almost said the Bengals, but I was like, no, I know it's
he
not.
He signed with the Bengals later in 2002 and then left.
Okay.
And then began.
I remember because I watch a lot of Steelers football. I mean, so yeah. So I remember him playing against Pittsburgh, and I'm like, I thought he was at Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then he later came back to Ohio State to be a linebackers coach. And let me tell you, him as the linebackers coach really helped with Tressel and that defense too. And that was the one key aspect, was him coming in 2002 to do the linebackers class after his neck surgery.
That would have been whenever Urban Meyer was there, correct?
Well, that was Luke Fickell who came to coach, the head coach.
No. Luke Fickell was never the head coach there at Ohio State.
He was the linebackers coach.
Okay. Yeah.
But with Ketzimer, he came in during Tressel's tenure.
Okay.
He did the linebackers with Laurinaitis.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was because you had Cooper, then you had Meyer, then you had
Day.
No, I'm missing somebody.
John Cooper, Urban Meyer, Earl Bruce.
No, Earl Bruce was before Cooper.
John Cooper. Are you talking head coach wise?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Luke Fickell was the coach for 1 year.
He was the interim coach for a bowl game.
Oh, actually, for one season, actually. He was the interim head coach until Urban Meyer.
Oh, the guy that got fired over Tattoo Gate. Tressel. Yeah, Jim Tressel. And Tressel got a raw deal, by the way. I mean, he got a raw deal because I'll be honest with you. If you would have inserted the name of any other university in that, it wouldn't have shocked anybody, because guess what? Every university was doing something like that. It's just somebody there, Ohio State got sloppy, they got caught. I did a video on this
years ago.
18 months ago, I think it was.
On the tattoo scandal.
No, I brought that up too.
But it's like,
no, it was the initial run on it was whenever.
Sherrone Moore.
No, it was. I'm going to have to look. He was the guy that got fired from Tennessee.
Are you thinking Josh Heupel or their offensive coordinator? Because their offensive coordinator got fired. But I will say, the Ohio State tattoo scandal would have costed us a national championship in an undefeated season. Which, if that scandal never happened, we would have been national champions, undefeated national champions, and would have been the last BCS champion.
Jeremy Pruitt. He was there for 3 years. They fired Jeremy Pruitt. Josh Heupel is the current coach. And this is what I brought up on that. And they did an investigation there at Tennessee, and they were stuffing McDonald's bags with cash, and you had to go to a certain McDonald's, do a certain order, and they would give you McDonald's bags that had cash in it. Well, somebody there got stupid, posted it up on
Social media.
I can't remember if it was
Instagram.
Whatever it was. And so they're flashing cash there that he just got paid 10 grand. And you're like, you idiot. And like I said, this was pre NIL. This was, I want to say
2018.
something like that. 2018, 2019. The video came out towards the end of the 2020 season as whenever the video got wide release on it. And that's how I started my video, was saying Tennessee got sloppy, Tennessee got caught. There was another one that happened at Colorado. This was about 20 years ago. Colorado was taking recruits to strip clubs.
The strip club scandal.
Oh, do you ever watch PTI, pardon the interruption, with Wilbon and Kornheiser on ESPN?
I've heard of that.
Okay, it's been on forever. And at the time, I would TiVo it, just so I would watch it whenever I get home from work. My favorite quote, my favorite line from that, Tony Kornheiser was like, "Okay, Wilbon, Colorado is like, I want to hear your take on where Colorado got caught taking recruits to strip clubs." It's like, well, we know there's one less school that's going to do it now. Colorado got caught. And Michael Wilbon was like, to sit there and say that Colorado was the only school that was taking recruits to strip clubs, you're lying to yourself. I mean, like I said, this was in 2004. Recruiting has always been, I wouldn't say dirty, but it's always been a game. Yes, I bring this up all the time. Friend of mine says WVU can't compete now because they don't have the cash. And I'm like, well, how many recruits was WVU flipping from Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Georgia, Florida, whoever, Clemson? Zero, maybe one or two. But a lot of it was that the guy would have been like fifth on the depth chart. Like up at Penn State, guy would be like the fifth linebacker on the depth chart and wanted to play. And if he went to WVU, he would be two and would be able to play redshirt 1 year, and next year he would be a starter. Unlike Penn State, where yeah.
You know, here's the thing. Like, you with the whole strip club scandal, you know, that's the thing that got caught, that people and the universities got caught for.
Yeah.
And those stories will live in infamy. And you know what? Nowadays, they can.
You broke up. Or did I break up? No, I still have a full signal.
Else and then not get fined now, since they changed. And you know, that's a fact, Daniel. Like, they can get away with this.
They still can't get away with taking kids to strip clubs. They can get away with having a payroll. Watch the old 30 for 30 Pony Excess, and they go through the whole entire Southwest Conference in the 80s. And to sit there and say that SMU was the worst of the bunch? Nah,
Oh no, it was a fact. The
no.
SMU may have been good, but then it's like they didn't go to a national title.
SMU should have played for a national title 1 year, and they couldn't because they were on probation. Um, but here's the thing with the old Southwest Conference. Every single one of them, whether it was A&M, whether it was Horns Down, whether it was Baylor, whether it was Rice. Rice had a payroll. Um, Texas Tech. All of them were keeping a payroll. TCU. The only reason why SMU got caught was the fact that they were in Dallas. All the media that you had in Dallas did not care about SMU. You weren't going. Let's say somebody there in Austin, Texas, had a story that University of Texas had a payroll for their football team back in 1983. They'd be ran out of town. There in Dallas, it didn't matter because Dallas, Texas, SMU SMU wasn't even the biggest story in town. Biggest, I can tell you right now, the biggest story in Dallas right now is always going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, because Dallas Cowboys got everything. And here's
No,
the other thing: breaking news on my end. Um, and I've mentioned this to you, Daniel. Guy asked about Tom Brady's son, especially. Michigan talking about talking with him and his dad, and trying to get him to come to Michigan to be the quarterback of the team. And Michigan had him up recently, and this is on my end from what I've seen.
yeah, we talked about it 2 weeks ago.
Mhm. And then this is the other report. He was with his dad apparently. I think I mentioned it. He was at AVN, I think, with his dad in a full suit, in a Michigan suit, like what the Michigan players wear, like the tracksuits. He was, but it's like you're talking about this guy. But I've mentioned this before. You're
You
talking
want
about this.
he doesn't.
It's like
I
trying to
looked it
tell.
up. He doesn't even have a 3-star rating. He would probably be the worst quarterback that's on the depth chart. And oh yeah, by the way, Coach Witt has no allegiance to legacy players.
He
He didn't
doesn't.
he didn't let legacy players show up whenever he was at Utah.
No,
What makes you think that he's going to let a legacy player show up at Michigan? It doesn't matter to Witt.
no. But the thing is here is that Michigan's aid is like their whole like system. Like this is before Kyle Whittingham came to Michigan.
It doesn't matter.
And
Witt
it's like,
runs the
okay,
team.
Matt Campbell at Penn State's looking at him, but at the same time, I've told everybody, like this guy is not a 5-star quarterback.
He doesn't
The
even have a.
only reason he's like being talked about so much is because of his last name and who his father is.
He
I
will
mean,
end up playing. He
it's
will.
like the same case with Arch Manning,
Yeah, but Arch Manning had numbers. Arch Manning played at one of the big prep schools there in Louisiana,
Newman High
and
School.
yeah, so he played at one of the big prep schools. He was a known quantity. Um, like I said, you take away the name Manning, he still had 3-star talent. This guy, Tom Brady's kid, will probably end up playing. He hasn't even declared. He hasn't even, and he graduated back in June. He cannot even walk onto a practice field for a Division 1 school right now. He can play D3 ball. So let's say that he wants to play. I don't know. Um, let's say he wants to play at Mount Union. He can play D3 ball at Mount Union.
But the other thing was,
Oberlin still have a football team? Yeah, Oberlin still has a
yes,
football team.
but the other thing was Tom Brady's son was talking about playing basketball with the
He's too
University of
he's too
Michigan.
short.
But Michigan's Dusty before Dusty Mays, and even since the new coach came in at Michigan, like they've been talking to him like very frequently.
He doesn't have a
And
star rating. He has 0 rating in basketball because I pulled that up whenever we talked about it. He doesn't even have a star rating. I looked at On3. He wasn't even listed as a ranked player. I mean,
but my
he'll
thing is like you know even with the case of Arch Manning, he's decent.
he's okay. He's If I was to give him a letter grade for last year, I would give him a B plus. He wasn't the best quarterback that I saw. He was okay. He did a couple oopsies whenever he shouldn't have. Um,
Against Ohio State and Georgia, particularly.
that Georgia game, they lost. He lost that game with that Texas Georgia game. Um, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's, like I said, he's good. I I do not see him. Uh, I don't even see him even remotely close as being a Heisman frontrunner. You know who I think is the most underrated quarterback right now in college football?
Who is it, Daniel? I want to honestly know.
Rocco Becht. He he got Iowa State to 10 wins. That was the first time Iowa State ever had a 10-win season. He is smart. He has been around he has been around football his entire life. You know who his dad is, right?
Trying to think of his name.
West Virginia
Remind.
tight end Anthony Becht.
Right.
Yeah, he played for the Jets for this is, I think 11 years. Went to Oakland for a year, and I can't remember where he retired out from. But he is now a coach with the UFL. And
Yeah.
before that, Anthony Beck bounced around with different NFL teams. So we're talking a guy that knows how to that has grew up around professional football and coaching. Uh,
Something else that came up
do
here.
do I think now? Here's the thing. Do I think that he's not going to be a day 1 or 2 draft pick? There's
Mm.
no way. There's no way he's going to do that. Uh, do I think that if somebody picks him up in the fifth, sixth, seventh round, they're getting a steal? Somewhat. I just think that I just think that he's a good, solid quarterback. That I I I don't. Well, here's the thing. I don't know how good Penn State's defense is.
They're terrible, dude.
That defense did an absolute clean out. All right, what you got for me, Caden?
The other thing was Jack Moynihan has not yet announced his commitment yet.
Yeah,
But but like I said, people are speculating Michigan, Penn State, uh, USC, UCLA is what I'm hearing on speculation. But if he were to, I would say if he were to get like a full time scholarship to play quarterback, it'd be at USC or UCLA. If he were to go D1.
USC. I don't see it because USC has always been able to get USC has always been able to get the best quarterback out of Southern California. USC, I've talked to you about this before. USC, within 250 miles of the campus there in South Central, you've got 22 million people. How many football recruits are within that 22 million people? A lot. They don't have to go far to get talent. And with the name USC, they can get a good quarterback to come in. UCLA is a total rebuild with Chesney, and maybe he'll want to go to Westwood.
Well, it'd be good because then he could fit the system and then obviously maybe make some big plays for UCLA.
Maybe, I don't know. Um,
But Penn State is the one that I really think would be something interesting. Matt Campbell, his offense, that would really fit his situation. Because Brady's son does love to throw. He's got an arm on him.
I
And for being 6'6", I mean,
I don't know, because the thing is, he doesn't have a star rating. He's not even rated as a 3-star.
well, from a social media post that I just seen, he like his like whole commitment process has been private between
He
him and
he had to do a national letter of intent
right
back, announce where he was going back in
December.
December.
I think
Yeah.
December 2025 is the
No,
death.
no, they still have the two, but almost everybody does it in December of 2025. They still have the second one in February. He has said nothing, which means that he is going to a D2 or D3 school, because you don't have to have a national letter of intent to go to one of those two schools. Um,
Which I think is surprising because if he were to like shockingly say I'm committing to UCLA or
he
I'm
can't. He has to sit out this year. He will not be
yeah,
able to
but I mean
play at a
unless
Division One.
next year,
If
unless
he,
this
yeah,
next year he commits to UCLA
yeah,
and says, I wouldn't be surprised if he does
yeah.
because
I
if
mean,
not, he would do something.
he doesn't have a star rating though.
But even
He's
though if he doesn't have a star
unknown.
rating,
Just because he's Tom Brady's kid. I mean,
I have my doubts about him. But I'm like his dad's been teaching him since he was young.
oh yeah, but like I said,
It's a rough process.
it's yeah. I mean, he's going to sit a year no matter what, unless he wants to play D2 or D3 ball. And let's say he shows up on campus at
UCLA.
no, that's D1. He can't even go to Akron. He can't even walk on to Akron. He never declared a college publicly. You have to do that at your national letter of intent. He cannot go to. He can't even go to Youngstown State. That's a D1 school. Now, like I said, let's say that he wants to go to
Mount
like
Union,
a Mount Union, that's a D3, or an Oberlin, that's a D3,
UMass.
or no, UMass is Division One. UMass is an FBS Division One. He cannot go there.
What about
Um,
Yale or Harvard?
Division Ones, they're FCS schools. Cannot go. Um,
Or
oh, I'm
Murray
gonna,
State?
huh?
Maybe like Murray State or
Division One. Hold on, let me check something.
I'm trying to think of like non-FBS schools that we've played in the past, like Arkansas State.
They're 1A school.
Because I'm like, we played some schools from that were D2 and D3 before. I just can't remember who.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was sitting there thinking that he might go to NYU, but I'm like, wait a second. NYU dropped their football program. Um, Hold
What
on.
would Howard be? Division One?
Howard's Division One. They're an FCS. They're in
I'm trying,
the MEAC.
I'm trying to think of FCS schools that we played that he would go to.
No, he can't. He cannot go to a Division One school this year. He can next year. Um,
Say what? It'd be Overland and like you know,
Marietta,
or like Villanova. That's Division.
Villanova. No, Villanova's Division One.
Okay, Marietta College, and then
Marietta's D3. No, I know Marietta's D3.
and that's down by West Virginia, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's right across the river from Parkersburg. Yeah. Um,
Stays there for a year and then goes to UCLA.
He
from
can. Yes, he can. Um, this is the little fact. This is the only fact I know about Oberlin. Oberlin was the last school in the state of Ohio to beat the Buckeyes in 1921.
that is true.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about Oberlin football.
They were the last to beat Ohio State in the 1920s
Yeah, 1921. They were the last Ohio-based team to beat the Buckeyes.
in Ohio
1920.
Stadium.
Yeah.
In Ohio
No,
Stadium
Ohio Stadium didn't exist then.
or Ohio Field. It was
Ohio
Ohio.
Stadium, I think for sure, because they just did their 100th anniversary 2 years ago.
3,
Okay, 1923.
1923.
Okay, I couldn't. I remember seeing the 100th anniversary logo on the field. I just couldn't remember
It
exactly
was
what year it was.
1922 when it was in construction.
Okay, I knew it was old. Um,
It was Ohio Field at first. They beat us.
okay,
That was the last time of Ohio Field before it moved to Ohio Stadium.
okay. So they have never lost an Ohio Stadium to an Ohio-based team.
Well,
Okay.
and then there's the shocker. And no disrespect to my Notre Dame fans, they haven't beaten us since 1936.
Yeah, no.
Mullen brought that up.
Moen brings that up all the time. So let's see. D2. I'm looking at D2 schools there.
I
Uh,
thought it was Division Two one year.
um, I knew Ashland was one. I knew Shawnee State because Shawnee State's going to go to the Mountain East Conference starting this year. Uh, oh
Isn't Big
wow.
East considered
No, Big East is well. Big East doesn't play football anymore, but Big East.
basketball Division One?
Yeah, they play Division 1 basketball. They don't sponsor football, but Villanova, no, shit. I'm trying to remember. I know Villanova still plays football, but they play in another conference. Uh,
But Shawnee State would be something that he would commit to.
I don't think that he's going to go. I think he's going to take a gap year, just do whatever the heck he feels like doing, and then
Announce his commitment.
yeah, like I said, he cannot go to a Division 1 school without doing a commitment.
An,
He has to announce it at
national letter
minimum.
of intent to say,
National letter, national letter of intent. Yes,
which means either he has to, which also he means he has to sit out for a year on the bench, but he can still go to like team practices.
he can enroll in the school. He just cannot go into the. He cannot do any activities related to athletics. He can enroll in school anywhere. I mean, let's say that he wants. Oh, crap! I wonder where Bridget Moynihan went to school at.
I think it was I'm trying to look it up too because I can't remember.
UMass.
UMass. So if he were to announce his letter of intent to UMass,
He can't
he'd
play
have to sit
football.
out for a year.
He is not allowed to play football.
Well, he has to sit out for a year and then
He
not
would
be.
have to sit out a year. I mean, like he can go up there. I mean, UMass is a great school. It's an AAU school. Let's say he goes up there and says, "Hey, I'm going to go to UMass for a year." Ah, guess what? Have fun.
And then leads to like UCLA or Penn State
Yeah,
the next year. Which I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because he'd want to play football after, you know, sitting out for a year
true.
because he's like his dad. He's a competitor. And even his high school football days, he was a competitor throwing. I don't know what his yard percentage was, but I heard it was at least decent.
Well, you got to look at competition too.
He
I
did
mean,
play good competition
the
too.
guy that holds the record for most yards thrown in the state of West Virginia is a guy by the name of J.R. House. Um, J.R. House never played a competitive snap in college football. He went for baseball because he was really good at baseball, and Nitro High School wasn't what you call the hotbed of activity of football activity. He just threw a ton of yards. Um, yeah, I mean, he like I said, he never played a snap of NFL football. Or are those Crocs?
These are Jordan Romes.
Oh,
I got these. I got these for Christmas. Been wearing them ever since.
no,
Nice for every shoe for in the house.
I'm lazy. I wear New Balance or Chucks because I'm lazy and I'm 52. Nobody cares what
Well,
I'm wearing.
well, you have to understand as a former athlete myself, like these are my favorite. You have to understand that too, Daniel.
Yeah. Um, here's something. Here's something that all the people in the military know this. Um, you get issued a pair of boots every year, no matter if you want them or not. You do not. You take them. You do not wear them because they are not very comfy. So what you end up doing, you go into a company's called Bates. You go into
They,
the Bates, Bates. You
I've
go
had
into
baked boots before.
Yeah, you go into the Bates catalog, or they sell them on base. That you can find them. They used to
They
sell them on
stopped them.
base. You would have like, oh, this is the service boot that is issued. Oh yeah, here's the one you really want. That's $200. So you would get these really nice steel toe Bates boots that would last 2 years, and you could care less. I mean, they would last forever. They would take a beating. Um, and they were comfy enough that you could wear them all day and it wouldn't hurt your feet that much. The issued boots, not so
Weren't they?
much.
Weren't they Daners? Or Daners are
Uh,
always for the Marines.
you're probably correct. I don't remember who. Like I said, I retired from the Air Force in 2013, so it's been a while. I mean, I still got a pair of old boots, but I I couldn't tell you anything about them. I mean, like I said, that was years ago. So that's what everybody in maintenance, they had these steel toe Bates that were real comfy.
That were black, probably,
No.
or brown.
Well, they were black up until um I'm trying to remember wherever they did the uniform swap over because we had the what's called BDUs, which was like the green camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
We had that up until
What, 2014, 2013?
no. 2014 they went to the OCP. They went to the multicam in 2014. That happened after I left. Um, they went to the couch fabric. That's what everybody in the Air Force called it, the couch fabric. In
As I was going to say, Daniel,
I'm,
I
I'm
have
trying I'm trying
I
to
was
remember.
my main work, and everybody knows that shop talk is
Commander
and
Luke, don't join the military.
yeah, I don't worry, Commander Luke. My career is not in the military.
I,
I
I
mean,
did I did 21 years in the Air Force, and let you know that it was a very enjoyable 18 years of it.
Commander Commander Luke is a viewer of mine from another channel, from a
Yeah,
Notre Dame
it
channel.
it
These
was
are my work boots from the
yeah
family farm shop.
yeah. So yeah, that's almost like the way that they had with the military boot.
Well,
That
and
they
then
that
obviously the branding is Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine. at one time did make a military a boot
Boo.
that made it through the military issue. Red Wing boots also did the same thing. Um, let's put it this way: my first 18 years in, um,
Commander Luke, the military is much different, I'm told, than what I remember. Commander Luke, you are true.
is he commander? That would be USN, because that's the rank that you would have with the Navy. Um, I was enlisted Air Force, and it was great until we had to start until we were inundated with paperwork. And if it was just me out there being a production supervisor or lead tech or whatever you need me to do on an airplane, I would put 12, 14 hours in. I didn't care. Hey, airplane broke, not a problem. But then it became how much paperwork you could do there for a while.
And then that paperwork was a pain in the butt.
And a lot of it was that we had we had the worst maintenance group commander, my worst squadron commander, my it's called maintenance operations officer, MOO, worst MOO, my worst maintenance superintendent, and we had the worst first sergeant that all because all of them in one foul swoop. And it became a
Commander
disaster.
Luke just put this comment out.
No, oh, they're not. They, all of them got kicked out.
Yeah, they got kicked out.
Yeah, they all got kicked out.
Oh, and Daniel, I forgot to mention. I got
Duh.
these from the Ohio State football team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got something you don't.
The plaque of service.
No. One share of the Green Bay Packer Football Company.
You told me that before.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan too, but no, I mean, but
Go Bucks right there, buddy.
Yeah.
First issued.
So, but this is what happened down closer to us. We had a maintenance superintendent that was awful, a maintenance operations officer that was even worse, a squadron commander that would throw a fit because paperwork wasn't right for, like, you have evaluations and this and that and letters, like all this stuff, and nobody cared because 99.99% of the time they would just sit there and say, it's a mechanic writing it, who cares, we'll clean it up later. No.
Well, appreciate you, Commander Luke, as always.
Yeah.
He says, got to respect the Buckeyes. Well, I mean, you got to.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I spent more time. Once, and I was working grave shift. I would start at 11 o'clock at night, give or take. Actually, get in there about 10:30. Get turnover, find out what's going on. This. We would have our turnover book, which is the official record. But this is what was funny. We had a chief, and this was one of the best chiefs that I ever had, Chief Avenia. He had a form. He wanted you to fill out anything that happened. He wanted to know, like, the front side of it, and it said continue on back. He's like, okay, dipshit, what really happened? Because he wanted to know what our story is, but he wanted to know what really happened, because there's a lot of times that we're like, plane took off.
So shift was really just something else.
Yeah, I was a maintenance guy on the C5 for 20 years, and
I do appreciate Nathan the Bomber Brown for popping in for a minute. I do appreciate you, sir, and he just reposted the stream and gave me a like. So I appreciate you, sir. Nathan Bomber Brown, you're always welcome to call in. But Daniel,
It's like the president and vice president. You can't have them in the same place at the same time. You can't have me and Nate at the same place.
hey, well, I can make it happen.
I know. But
It's great because when you
yeah.
guys are on air, it's always a great time.
If we
And, you know,
here's the thing.
here's
There's people like
here's the thing, Daniel.
whenever I do a short, and I am so thankful that Nate lets me have time to vent. It's basically what I see wrong, and I make a call on it.
I think
No,
this is
wrong
you, Daniel.
wrong branch.
Wrong brand, sir. But we do appreciate the question. But you know what, Daniel? The thing is, I wanted to ask.
And and to let you know, anybody from the outside world, we would know automatically because the C5 world is so small. Everybody knows everybody because there's only two bases. There's out here in California and there's Dover, Delaware. There is the overhaul facility down at Warner Robins, Georgia. We knew everybody down there. We had personal phone numbers for the engineering corps because there were certain engineers that we didn't want to talk to. There was one guy. No.
Dan,
Now, no.
question.
No, I am long retired. Long retired.
He was saying, "Are you
Oh,
CIA?"
no, God, no, no. You, let's put it this way. Most of the time that I was in the United States military is the biggest group of professional alcoholics that you'll ever meet, or functional alcoholics.
And then there's another question for you here, Daniel. He says, "Did you see the aliens? Don't lie."
No, and this is something funny. And this is like the running joke that we always had on aliens and little green men and stuff like that. We're like, oh yeah, they're over there. They're up there. There's an Air Force base north of me called Beale Air Force Base, and they had the U2 program and SR-71s there. And that we're the ones we kept saying that, oh yeah, if you want to go see aliens, you gotta go up to Beale up in Yuba City. Now, this is I'll be honest with you. Do you think the United States military, the United States government, with how incompetent it is, can keep a secret like aliens? No. I'll tell you something right now. We had two guys that we had to tell them, hey, we need you to go to blank 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 for 90.
And speaking
For,
of,
yeah,
and
had
speaking of
yeah, I
the
know.
Daniel, speaking of the Outcast fan, he is here. Burks, welcome in. How are you doing today, my good friend?
Hey, Burks, watch me on the College Football Mafia. I
Burks,
put a video
is-
this morning on, but
and
this
then
is the
Commander
running
Luke
joke.
says, "Trust me, you don't want to get picked up by you on a UFO on a late Saturday night."
Do you
Um,
think? No. And a lot of the, like I said, we had two guys that we were supposed to send. They were supposed to go someplace classified.
mhm.
The first thing they did, they told their girlfriends. Very first thing. They're like, and we found out about it, like, they weren't even in position. And Yehu's girlfriend, this is whenever MySpace, whenever MySpace first started coming out. This was, oh, when was
Yeah,
this?
Commander
This
Luke,
would have been this would have been 2008. And there's his girlfriend saying, "Oh, we're upset." It's like, "Oh, I'm upset. My boyfriend's going to be gone to blank for a couple of months," and we're like, You asshole. So we had to recall him, recall his buddy. One guy got tossed. The guy's girlfriend that leaked got tossed. No, I don't have a lot of secrets. No, no. Yeah,
And then
you can. Okay, Luke. I will tell you right now. You can go on to the Lockheed website and get a full breakdown of the C-5 airplane.
Burks, to answer your question, it was because I'm a subscriber of the College Football.
He is a subscriber to the.
And Daniel Gygax and I have talked about a lot of subjects, touchy subjects.
And I did. Okay, Burks. Okay, let me give you my resume. I graduated high school in 1992 from Sherman High School in Southwest Virginia. I was in the United States Air Force from October 1992 to October of 2013. I worked a number of different jobs here, there, and everywhere. I now do like consulting is the best way to put it. Basically, except for not this computer, but I've got another computer that I'll pull out and do work for people and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm retired military, and I got really lucky that I got really lucky to know Nate Brown.
Brown, by the way, who holds the Wednesday call-in show.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's usually Tuesday, but it's every Wednesday. I got to know him a couple of. Oh God, when was the first time I was on the show? I was first time on his show 3 years ago, and it would have been what was the week that the Harbaugh news broke in 2023?
That was
October.
That was October 23.
I can't remember. It was late September, early October.
In 23 that it broke the news.
Yeah, something like that. And I got to go on as a guest picker, pick games and stuff like that. So they had there was a little bit of turnover there.
Thank you for that answer. 2023.
Okay, thank you. I knew it was somewhere around then. So they had some turnover with a couple of guys leaving because they wanted to do their own thing. And I'm like, and Nate asked me, "Hey, you want to fill in for me?" He had some health issues, and I'm like, "Not a problem." So got to know Moan real well. Got to know Phil, who's Wild U. Got to know him real well. Matter of fact,
Rock and Rant,
who down in L.A. All those guys, Becky, all those guys, absolutely.
I gotta give a big shout out to the College Football Mafia.
Yeah, all those guys, massive amount of knowledge. We joke.
Say also that the link
this is the joke that we have, that we're like, anytime that we have to pull up a stat, and Becky started this. It's like, oh, according to the research department here at the College Football Mafia, she started that like 2 years ago, and it just became a joke. That we have a research department. It's mainly us Google and what we can find real quick for facts. Yeah, like,
and then also to Burks, if you want to come on in and ask your questions, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah,
the link is available, and I will put it.
I'm sorry, Luke. I don't have a taste for crayons. Never have. I got a really good friend of mine. He was a Marine, and God, I can't. It was like maybe 3-4 years ago. I got him like one of the big 64 count box of
Daniel
crayons.
Gygax, somebody that you would like to meet is actually backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, the most hated Wolverine fan on God's green earth. Somebody that was kicked out by his own fan base for telling the truth of his program. Ladies and gentlemen, this man does not need no introduction, but I'm going to say anyways. Burks the Wolverine. Burks, welcome in, my friend. How you doing?
What's up? What's up, Danielle? Nice to meet you. You have a pretty interesting backstory. I can't lie on that. So,
Yeah, and I've been, and here's the thing with everybody asks, well, how come you were at Travis Air Force Base your entire career? Because, and this is the way maintenance worked at Travis. On one side, you had tankers, you had KC-10s. You only have two bases for them. Here at Travis and McGuire, New Jersey. With the C5s, it's either here or Dover, Delaware, and you don't leave. Whenever I am processed in April of 1993 into Travis Air Force Base, I was told by our maintenance superintendent, "Welcome to the last base you'll ever be at." Now that doesn't mean that you go deploy, you don't go here, you don't go there, you're not following airplanes around for all. I mean, don't follow airplanes around forever, but it, upward mobility is pretty shot. But the thing is, you do get a lot of stability. Like I bought a house. I bought a house in 2002 because I knew I wasn't going anywhere. It was I'm stuck. Might as well. I saw a thing on there. Uh, get freaky with their diesel and JP8.
Yeah, well, because I'm a truck mechanic for a living, so
Yeah, we
the
whenever you deploy, whenever you
JPA, I
yeah
like them, but I'm like,
yeah
that's for my semis.
whenever we deploy, the only thing that you get sent is Jet A JP8, and that runs every single bit of equipment that you have there because it's all diesel. I mean, 99% of everything that the military runs is diesel. It
Yeah, I mean, if I had a wrench on military equipment, I would, but
yeah
farm equipment's what I've been doing for a
yeah,
long time.
and the reason why it's diesel is that no, with farm equipment, it's reliable. You can keep it running forever. So,
Right.
and you don't have to bring in unleaded. You don't have to bring in this. You don't have to bring in that. You could bring in
Just diesel.
just well Jet A,
Jet A.
JP8, yeah, jet fuel, which is just diesel.
Straight diesel.
Well, a little bit better than diesel. It's like between diesel and kerosene. So, I mean,
But Perks, you had some questions for Daniel Gygax, so
ask
great.
away.
yeah, man. First of all, how did you become a West Virginia fan? And second of all, is that a Packers stockholder? Because I'm a diehard Packers fan.
Yes, that is one share of the Green Bay Packer Football Company. And I grew up in Boone County, West Virginia, Boone County and Fayette County, West Virginia.
Got it.
Um, my I attended WVU. Um,
Nice.
I've just lived in California for 30 years. Um, I'm a diehard mountaineer, and I'll like um, what is that Black Friday this year? I'm going to Utah to watch them play the Utah Utes. 2 years ago, saw him play basketball at BYU. I was there with Nate. Me and Nate went to that basketball game there, and what was it? That was April. I mean, sorry, that was March 1st of 2025. There in 2024, went there to see the BYU WVU game. So even though I'm out here on the West Coast, WVU. I mean, heck, I was down in Las Vegas. They have something called the Crown Tournament. What's in WVU basketball there? It's just it's just a way of life. Um, I've when was that?
Wasn't that 24th for the Crown tournament?
No, it was this past year, this past March. I was down there. Um, in 2016, the West Virginia women's soccer team was playing in San Jose. It's about hour 15 from here down to where the soccer stadium is, the MLS soccer stadium is from my house. Um, had wife, daughter, went down there, watched WVU play USC in the women's soccer championship in San Jose. And I bet you WVU fans in San Jose, California outnumbered USC fans 2-1. You saw a lot of flying WVs
That's
there.
crazy.
It's just, I was at the when was that? That would have been 2014 WVU Gonzaga San Jose again. Whenever um, that was the Sweet 16 game against Gonzaga in San Jose. I'd probably say a good third of the building had WVU logos. Whenever I was down at the Crown Tournament in Las Vegas, game one was Stanford. So Stanford, from where I'm at right now, the drive to Las Vegas is about 8 hours, give or take. It's 560 miles. So if you can average 70 miles per hour, basically you're stuck in traffic until you leave the Bay Area, and then you do really good until you get to Bakersfield. Once you get over to Tehachapi Mountains, it's flat desert floor, and you can open it up and do 85, 90 miles per hour, and nobody cares. So it's about an 8 hour drive down to Las Vegas, and I'd probably say that Stanford game, probably a third of the crowd there, because there was a game before. A third of the crowd was WVU. That championship game was probably half WVU.
And sorry to interrupt, Daniel, but Commander Lou was just pointing out a couple things. One, the reports are saying that the Michigan quarterback, Bryce Underwood's a bust, which me and Burks have talked about, that Michigan's quarterback, Bryce Underwood, is a bust. If you don't know, Burks and I recently did a series on Friday. Burks, if you would please remind the folks, Michigan quarter Bryce Underwood's a bust and has been a bust.
I never said he was a bust, but I said that he can be. But let me tell you something, Daniel, which is crazy. Even Commander Luke, you hear this as well, okay? West Virginia football has more New York Six bowl games wins than Michigan and Notre Dame. That is
Yes.
ridiculous. 21st century. They have 3, Michigan has 2, and Notre Dame won all their New York Six bowl games in that 2024 season when they went to the championship against Ohio State. That is ridiculous, but that's why I respect them, man.
Yeah.
It's
And
yeah.
saying that WVU's been a bust since Slayton Pat White. Geno Smith, that first year,
Yeah, 2011. Yeah.
that 2011 season,
Yeah.
not 2011. I'm trying to remember. No,
Yeah.
Will Greer. I'm sorry. Will Greer, 2018. They won 10 games that year.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2018. They had a really good team, but the problem was that they had zero defense in 2018. Well, nobody in the Big 12 had a defense. It was. Let me tell you, the introductory game WVU had going into the Big 12. WVU was playing Baylor. Game 1, Big 12 in 2012. The game was at Mountaineer Field. Final score 70-36. Yeah. Nobody played defense in that league. Nobody. Now you have to, because
Commander Luke says again, he said the Big 12 was a soft conference.
yeah,
That
it
I
was.
can agree.
It was because everybody was set up for, we're going to outscore you. Nobody played defense. Now you have to play defense.
And the
A lot of
answer-
it has to do with
Yes,
for
I
the
did.
schools that were just added. BYU's going to beat you up. You got to be able to play defense against BYU. You got to be able to play defense against Utah. You got to be able to play defense against Arizona State. You got to be able to play defense against Houston. And I've said this a couple of times. There's 2 games that are going to decide the whole entire Big 12 this year. And I think Houston's going to beat Texas Tech because I don't think Texas Tech is going to be good, but I don't think that they're that good. And Willie Fritz, the head coach at Houston, he's a smart guy, and he doesn't have to go far to get talent.
And especially the next game is going to be Notre Dame BYU.
Yes, and
now Notre Dame BYU. I'm just going to say this in my opinion. It's going to be a physical game, but it's going to be close. It's going to be closer than what the people say.
I think BYU can beat them. You got to think of it this way: you've got a Bear Brockmeyer who this is his second year, and he did a great job last year. You've got a Notre Dame team that cycled through a lot of people. The game is in Provo, and whatever time they set that time up for Provo, and I will guarantee you it's going to be a primetime game. There's no doubt it's going to be a primetime game. That building is just loud. That building is really good.
The ACC is even better than the Big 12 was. Then the ACC is pure dog crap. He says again.
Here's the thing.
He said no championship contender takes BYU seriously. Now I kind of disagree on that fact with BYU because BYU last year would have almost beat Texas Tech for that title and then go to the championship.
BYU's only had 2 losses last year. Regular season to Texas Tech. That was in Provo. Big 12 championship game there in Arlington, Texas. And both of them, I mean, BYU was 11-1 and got left out of the CFP.
And then he says, I can name 10 teams better that would pound BYU, and then he will follow up with telling me, you know, Ohio State would take BYU out behind the woodshed.
Here's the thing. BYU football is totally set up different in the way that they man themselves than what you have in the state of Ohio. You recruit different. You recruit different out here on the West Coast. You're not. I mean, they get a lot of foreign players that go to BYU. They got a lot of big guys, and you want to know something? BYU will be a contender this year, and they will be a contender next year. BYU doesn't. I'm sorry, Luke. BYU doesn't need speed. They don't need it. They play a very physical football. They don't need speed. Here's the thing. Speed is great. But if you've got guys that can put pressure, and they don't have to be quick, but if they can put pressure on a quarterback, that helps. And so you've got guys that, let's say you've got fast guys. It's good. You can never say no. There's 2 things you can't say no to: speed and height. But if you got really strong guys, it helps. Trust me, WVU's offensive line was awful last year.
So Daniel, quick question: Are you a outcast of your fan base? Because this channel is like basically the people who come here are people who are pretty hated in their fan base just because they speak the truth. Like I, for example, right, banned in like basically most Michigan channels because either my emotions get to me, I go aggressive, take personal shots, because I want Michigan, right, to be I don't want to be a delusional fan. I want to be an honest fan, right? Caden, the same person as well, right? Commander Luke, the Notre Dame dude. he got roasted. There's this channel called John Kennedy or something. So many people would go after him just because he would speak truth. So I'm just wondering, are you one of those people who, you speak truth and your West Virginia fans want to kill you, or are you just here because you like Caden or you want to talk to him or stuff like that?
Well, I like talking to Caden, but here's the thing: WVU
Yeah.
fans are
Yeah.
pessimistic at heart. Every single WVU fan has seen the would've, could've, should've.
Okay.
Every single WVU fan has seen the what if. Every single WVU fan has seen the game that got away. It's brutal. It is brutal being a WVU fan. I brought up the 2007 season. That final
You
game
would have
was
sent them to the national title if Alabama did.
that game was brutal. I was in high school in January 2nd, 1989. WVU played Notre Dame for the national championship game, and Major Harris, who was a Heisman finalist, dislocated his shoulder third play of the game. There's a really good book by a guy named Mike Kazaza called "Waiting for the Fall." It's
Commander
basic-
Luke says West Virginia stole that title.
which title?
He's talking about the 88, 89.
No, WVU lost that game. Notre Dame. They lost that game. They were 11-0. They lost that game, and they lost that game bad because it was. What was it? I can't remember. They went through 3 running backs and 2 quarterbacks during that game with injuries. It was bad, and then they lost.
Miami won that title that year.
In 1988, the 88-89 year.
Come on, Luke. You're a Notre Dame fan. You should know
Are you?
1988 Notre Dame won the title.
They won the Fiesta Bowl January 2nd, 1989. I know. I watched the game on TV. I was in 9th grade then. Trust me, I remember that game.
And then he also follows up with saying that mentality of football gets your butt beat in the playoffs.
Yeah. So the Mountaineer fans and
he's talking about 89.
Oh, yeah. January 2nd, 1989 was whenever the game was played for the 1988 season. There's another friend of mine, Coos Walker, Coos's Corner, and whenever West Virginia lost to Ohio, I'm like, that line was awful. And we're just having like a therapy session for Mountaineer fans online. Just due to the fact that we've all seen it. It's always been a what if. It's always been a that's great, but where's the national championship trophy? Yeah, you won an Orange Bowl. Yeah, you've won a bunch of Fiesta Bowls. Yeah, you've won a bunch of Sugar Bowls. Yeah, you've won this. Yeah, you've won that. Yeah, you've got the most conference championships of any school not to win a national championship. They have the most wins of any school not to win a national championship.
And
they have the highest
win bowl games too.
They have the most. They've played the most bowl games not to win a national championship. They've won the most bowl games not to win a national championship. They have the highest winning percentage of any team not to win a national championship. So for all the success, for everything, still can't get over the hump. And West Virginia will win a game they're not supposed to win. It happens every year. They win a game they're not supposed to win, and then they'll turn around and absolutely lose a game that they were supposed to win. Like last year. Last year they lost to Ohio. The Ohio Bobcats. The next week they were, I think it was 9. I gotta remember. It was 9.
They beat Houston. Didn't they beat Houston ranked?
Yeah, they beat Houston ranked last year, yes.
Yeah, I remember.
And the next week, WVU had Pitt, and they were 9-point underdog to Pitt and beat Pitt. So there's games that they win that they have no business winning. There's games that they lose that you just scratch your head and say, what happened? And that's just the life of being a Mountaineer fan. And everybody knows it. I'm and to sit there and do doom gloom or whatever, I mean, there's no way to look at it. WVU went 4-8 last year, and they had an awful offensive line. And only thing that you're hoping is that offensive line is better for this year. It better be. Because you can't do anything without a good front five. Can't run, can't pass, can't do anything. So Las Vegas has West Virginia at 5.5. I put $10 on the over. I've done it every year. I'll hit it sometimes. I won't hit it sometimes. It just depends on what it is. West Virginia, what was it? In 2023, West Virginia, they had at the time, it was a 14-team Big 12. West Virginia was ranked dead last and finished fourth in the division and in the conference, and went to the Mayo Bowl and won the Mayo Bowl. That was 2023. 2024, they went 6-7. They went 6-6 and lost their bowl game. Last year, 4-8. The thing is that, what was it? Since Coach Stu was fired at the end of the 2010 season, and he took over for Rodriguez, he went, what was it? He went 28-12. He had the highest winning percentage of any coach to ever be in Morgantown. Fired. And a lot of it had to do with him and the athletic director. And we don't know the full story on it. We know part of the story, but we don't know the full story on it. Him and the athletic director never got along. Bill Stewart was a WVU grad. Bill Stewart was there during Don Nehlen. He was the special teams coach. Whenever Rodriguez left for Michigan, he took over. WVU beat Oklahoma in that bowl game. They kept him as the primary coach because everybody loved him. He was from West Virginia. He was from New Martinsville, West Virginia. Great guy. Oliver Luck came in as the athletic director. You might heard the name there, Burks or Caden. Know the name Oliver Luck. He ran the XFL for a while. He he had something to do with MLS at one time. I'm not sure what he's doing now.
With the MLS,
I think he's with the UFL. He was MLS. He was with the team down in Houston, something like that. You know his, you know his son a lot better than what you know Oliver Luck. Oliver Luck was a quarterback at WVU, and got his law degree from WVU. Went into the corporate world, then went into the athletics world. Nobody knows the full story, but whenever Ed Pascalong, who hired Bill Stewart, retired, he was there for like 22 years, actually total for like 31 years as like an administrator at WVU. Oliver Luck was brought in. Oliver Luck wanted to do a coach in waiting, and Stewart was like, no. It was like either you fire me or fire me and pay me out. I'm not going to do a coach in waiting. So they fired him.
Which is
like I said, he was there for 3 years, went 28, had that bowl game win, went 9-4 for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, which is the insane
good,
part.
Good, not great. They brought in Dana Holgerson. He was at Texas Tech at the time as offensive coordinator. They brought him in because they knew that WVU was going into the Big 12. So they wanted to have somebody that was familiar with how the Big 12 operated. Dana Holgerson, his first year there, went 6-7. He had the 110-win year there in 2018. Who was that? With Will Greer. Left to take the Houston job. Why am I not remembering the guy's name? He's now the coach at North Texas. Neil Brown. So they brought in Neil Brown. He was local. He was from Kentucky. He grew up in coal mining town. And it wasn't that Neil Brown was bad. He went 37-35. He had one really great year where he went 9-4, and the rest of them were 5-6 win seasons. It wasn't like and nicest guy that you'll ever meet, but nice guys don't win football games. And now Rodriguez is back. Rodriguez's first year in 2001, the first time he was there, he went 3-8. Last year, he went 4-8. Who knows what's going to happen this year? I just want to see. I just hope WVU doesn't get embarrassed. That's it.
And this is the first time he's been coaching back since 2007.
No. The first time he's back at WVU. He spent 3 years. He spent 3 years up at in Ann Arbor, got fired, went to Arizona, and did a really bang up job in Arizona. Arizona football was always a joke, and he went there to Arizona and did a really good job. Nobody's exactly sure on the story on that. Got fired from Arizona. He was the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss with Kiffin one year. He was on staff one year with West Virginia native Nick Saban down at Alabama. And went to Jacksonville State, won the Conference USA 2 years in a row, and back up to WVU. In an alternate reality, Nick Saban's the coach at WVU. Let me explain. Burks, I know Caden heard the story. Burks might not have heard it. In 2006, Rich Rodriguez was offered a job down in Alabama. His wife, they were already down there in Tuscaloosa. They had things scheduled. His wife didn't like Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She said no in 2006. The coach at the time of the Miami Dolphins was about ready to get fired. That was Nick Saban. So if things would work differently, Nick Saban grew up, I don't know, 40 miles from the campus at WVU. He would have taken the job there at WVU. At the time, the athletic director, Ed Pascalong, and Nick Saban were great friends. Who wouldn't know? I don't know. It would have changed the trajectory of two schools. Like I said, WVU fans are pretty pessimistic just due to the fact that every single time you turn around, something bad's going to happen. So you understand there, Burks?
Yeah, I actually know the story from before, but it's nice to be told again. So yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of heartache. It's a lot of heartache, and
it's not even just a lot of heartache. It's what if WVU would have won a national championship in 08?
If WVU would have won in 88, they would be in the SEC today. You, like I said, it was between Arkansas and it was between WVU. Arkansas had national championships in the past. WVU had 0. Yep. And
And Daniel was also explaining like in the 91 game.
not
Like-
91, 93.
93.
93.
Thank you, Daniel.
That 93 season, like I said, that split national championship, they eventually gave the national championship to Florida State that year for 93. And the reason why is Bobby Bowden never won one. Tom Osborne was the head coach at Nebraska. Nebraska was ranked number 1 going into the bowls, going into the bowl season. Nebraska was ranked number 1. WVU was ranked 2. Florida State 3. I can't remember who number 4 was at the time.
I think it was Arkansas.
No.
Or was
no.
it? Or was it? South
No.
Carolina?
I almost said Notre Dame, but Notre Dame wasn't it because Notre Dame lost to Florida
Miami
State.
was, however,
Yeah, Notre Dame lost to Florida State.
Miami beat Notre Dame. I thought because the rivalry between Lou Holtz.
Because the whole entire thing was that WVU beat Boston College pretty soundly that season. Boston College beat Florida State. Florida State beat Notre Dame that year. And like I said, the old bowl coalition, because if you go 1990, that was Colorado and Georgia Tech for split national championship. The next year it was Michigan, Washington in 91. So that was the one thing that they wanted to clean up with the split national championship, who was contracted to go to which bowl and stuff like that. And that 95 was the first year of the bowl coalition, which, oh yeah, by the way, one bowl was not a part of that bowl coalition.
Commander Luke said Colorado stole the title from Notre Dame in 1990, which
They probably did. They probably did.
They did.
I don't remember much about. I remember Georgia Tech's. I remember Georgia Tech's team. I do not remember Colorado's team at all that year. I just know they won a national championship. They split a national championship with Georgia Tech. The only bowl that was not a part of that original bowl coalition was the Rose Bowl. The Big Ten and Pac-10 did not want to play. So it was just the ACC, it was SEC, it was the Big 8, it was I'm sorry, Big 8 was already gone. Big 8 was already Big 12, Big East. That was it. Yeah, okay. No, Luke had that on there. Rocket Ishmael, yeah.
Rocket returned a punt and a phantom call was made.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, okay. Now I remember that. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Commander Luke, you know I post the link here also, so if you want to explain to Daniel from a Notre Dame perspective, you can. By the way,
Like I said, we joke that we're the research department for the college football mafia. Our brains are full of mush.
Oh, let me tell you, Danielle, whenever I talk about Michigan and I talk about the past and it's like true, like statistics, like, oh, West Virginia won more bowl games, like New York 6 bowl games than Michigan. These people don't want to hear it because it's all bad news and they don't want to live in reality. Because let's be real here, from 2021 to now, most Michigan fans only just bring that up. It's like they don't bring up the past. So that's why I get really fed up with them, because it's like I'm a Michigan football historian, right? And let me tell you, our bowl record is not great. It's pretty bad. I think your guys' bowl record is better in percentage wins.
It's not great.
I mean, it's better.
Ours is 22, or I think 24 and 29. So 24 games we won, 24 bowl games, and we lost 29. So how much is yours?
Hold on. No, I have to look.
Yeah, ours is 24 and 29. So
I will recommend you, Burks, to subscribe to the College Football Mafia because they are awesome, and Daniel
yeah.
Ramos is one of the best people.
Is there a Michigan guy there, Daniel, or no?
No, we've got an OSU guy.
Oh, I
Mullen.
see.
Mullen. But
Because let me tell you, if I was the
Let's
Michigan
let's
guy,
put it this
yeah.
way. Okay, 17 and 24
Okay,
is,
so
is is
that's
their overall bowl record. 17 and 24.
okay. That's not good either. Oh,
I
the
didn't say it
Premier
was.
League
I didn't
says
say it was great.
yeah.
Now you got to remember that for a extremely long time, West Virginia wasn't in a conference, so there was no tie-in to this bowl game or that bowl game or this or that or whatever. They were an independent. Same thing with Penn State up until they joined the Big Ten. So it was Pitt, WVU, Penn State, Rutgers, Boston College, Syracuse, Virginia Tech. All those schools were independent. Um, West Virginia was in the old Southern Conference up until 1950 to 1968. The Southern Conference in 1953 broke off and formed the ACC. And then WVU joined the Big East. They say 91 was their first official year, but really it was 93 because they still had schools that it was a 6-team league until 1993, and that just had, don't ask why, but that's just the way things worked at the time. But 1993 was the first year that everybody had to play everybody. So since 93, it's been the Big East or the Big 12. So that kind of helps with the bowl tie-ins. So you don't have to worry about trying to get a date at the Holiday Bowl if you go 7-4 because it's a crapshoot. And also, there's a lot more bowls than what there were. I did a video on it. Oh God, I did the video on it.
what had to be like
2 years ago.
2
No,
years ago?
no, I think I did it in December of I can't remember if it was December 2024 or December 2025. It might have
December
been,
2024.
that sounds about right.
You explained about the Holiday Bowl.
No, yeah, I think I brought that up too. No, I was just talking about the number of bowl games that you had. Um, and I used the line. I remember I used the line in there as like, yeah, you go to far away vacation destination spots like Pasadena, Miami,
Yeah, the Rose Bowl.
Orlando, or you might get stuck in El Paso, Texas. I remember having that in there because that was Sun Bowl was one of the original bowls. It was 1938.
32.
No, 8, I believe. Um, but yeah, you're looking at, there's a lot more bowls than what you had before. I think in what was it? Hold on. Now I'm going to have to look at. I think
The
I still
Rose
have.
Bowl was one of the originals also.
Yes, it was. Hold on. I'm going to have to look at my notes. Hold on. I keep note. I have to have notes for this thing because if I don't, I end up going insane. Hold on.
Hey, also, by the way,
Oh,
Burks.
wait a second. It was
What?
December 9th, 2025. I'm looking at my notes for it. In 1985, there were only 18 bowl games. Uh, 40 years later, I'm looking right there, not counting the CFP, this past season, there were 35 bowl games. So you had 70 teams that you could pull from to put in a bowl compared to 36. I'm glad I keep notes for everything.
So Daniel, I have a
Yeah.
question for you.
Uh huh.
So It's not West Virginia. This is like stats of greatest programs of all time. So Caden and I were discussing once of why Ohio's. Okay, so what do you think is a better program? All right, of all time, Michigan or Ohio State?
Statistically wise, Burks, let me put that. Statistically
Oh.
wise, Ohio State or Michigan, Burks.
What do you think is the better program of all? And be honest, dude.
This is a non-biased channel.
I'll be honest with you. Michigan does have a very good legacy, but I'm going to ask Burks this: how many football championships did Schembechler win?
0. Woody Hayes was much better. And so when people say that, oh, Bo won the 10-year war, it's like, I don't care, dude. He didn't win any championship. It's a fraud. Guys like Fritz Chrysler and Benny Oosterbahn and, those guys won multiple championships. So,
There,
that's how it
you can
is.
go back to
Yeah,
Fielding Yost. I mean,
yeah, Fielding Yost. Yeah,
Fielding Yost was
yeah.
like one of the innovators. And do you know who Fielding Yost coached for before he went to Ann Arbor?
Didn't he do Princeton?
No.
Why do I feel it's Princeton, man?
Nope.
I think that's Fielding Chrysler. That's Chrysler. My
Fitz
bad.
Chrysler was
Fritz
out there.
Chrysler. My bad. My
Was
bad.
out.
Ah,
WVU. He was
what?
he played and was
Wow.
coach at WVU. Went to
Hmm.
Lehigh.
Yeah.
Coached at Lehigh for 1 year, then went up to Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
And then there is a question for you, Daniel, from Commander Luke. He says, is Pat White the greatest West Virginia quarterback of all time?
Major Harris. Major Harris. I love Pat White. I think Pat White was one of the best quarterbacks at WVU.
But Harris
Major Harris did
was a
it.
dual threat.
Major Harris did it 20 years before Pat White walked onto the field at Mountaineer Field. Major Harris was groundbreaking. You wouldn't have a Pat White without a Major Harris. You can go online and look at the 1988 West Virginia Penn State game. Final score was 51-30. Halftime 41-8. Major Harris was a big deal at the time. And I think a lot of it is that I was in high school whenever Major Harris showed up to Morgantown. And he was just nobody ever saw a quarterback like that ever.
He was one of the first dual threat quarterbacks.
He was one of the first really big dual threat quarterbacks. He was
giving even us at Ohio State problems.
Yeah, he was great. The problem was that he went up. He messed his shoulder up against Notre Dame, and at the time, who was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember a guy from Notre Dame. At the time, Canadian football was trying to get relevant, and then they were trying to move teams into the United States. And Major Harris, he was drafted by the Los Angeles Raiders, but he signed a contract with Canadian football because it was guaranteed money and his NFL contract was not. So he went up to Canada and absolutely shattered his shoulder and knee. I cannot remember.
Let me be clear. That last Ohio State West Virginia game in the 80s was 87.
1998.
Well, this one in particular, I'm talking about the 1987 game.
That was at the Horseshoe, and WVU got killed.
24-3.
Yeah.
And then the 98 game was 34-17.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And Major Harris, wasn't he part of the 87, 88?
He was a part of the 87 team. Yes. They played the Sun Bowl that year in 87.
But he got killed.
No. that 87 Sun Bowl, they played Oklahoma State. Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders were the two running backs for Oklahoma State. Guess who won? I mean, they just ran amok over WVU. I mean, they threw yards left, right, and sideways. So now 88. Everybody knew it was going to be a good team. Nobody thought that they were going to contend for a national championship. They knew they were going to be good. They did not think that they were going to end up playing Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl for a national championship. 93 was the same way. That 91 season for WVU was not good. I think they went like 5-6 or something like that. 92, I want to say they went 7-4. Sounds about right, or 7-5, something like that. I'm trying to remember. Then the following year they ended up winning. They went 11-0, and lost to the University of Florida in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, and let me just say the championships that WVU should have won, especially that 88 against Notre Dame, would have made the program had a better record.
Here's something that you want to look up, and everybody, like a lot of old time mountaineers talk about this. Look up the 1922 football season. West Virginia went 10-0-1. The only game that they tied was Washington and Lee. The game was at Lately Field in Charleston, West Virginia. It wasn't in Morgantown. Little controversy on that game too. There's a really good book. God, I'm trying to remember the guy that wrote it. They ended up having 6 different teams listed as national champions for 1922. There in the 50s.
Michigan was one of those 6 teams in 22.
Probably. There was a slew of them. There in the 50s. What was it? WVU got beat by Penn State to knock them out of the national championship 2 years in a row. And then they ended up just absolutely falling flat the game after that. Who was that? Bobby Bowden's 1976, 75 season. They lost to Pitt, and I'm trying to remember who else off the top of my head. Played in the Peach Bowl, won the Peach Bowl that year. Bobby Bowden left for Florida State. Frank Cignetti, name sound familiar, came in as the head coach there at WVU, 76 through 79. You might know his son's name.
Curt Cignetti.
Yeah, former WVU quarterback. Curt Cignetti was the quarterback for his dad there at WVU.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. Frank Cignetti. I don't know where are you from, Burks?
I'm from Chicago, man, like the greater area.
Okay.
So I'm from Arlington Heights. Yeah.
Okay. I know where Arlington Heights is. No, because I was going to ask you how familiar you are with Western PA.
Western PA, as in I know this place pretty.
Western Pennsylvania.
I know that place pretty well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a university there, no kidding, called Indiana University.
I know. I heard of that. Yep.
Yeah. And their big rival is California University in the town of California, Pennsylvania. Frank Cignetti took the job at IUP and won a Division II championship. His son, Kurt, took over. That was his first head coaching job, and that was probably 15 years ago. Then he took the job at James Madison. Um, I did. Here's the thing. If you were to sit there and tell me of any team with any coach from where I know the Signetti so well, watching them at Division II schools and watching them at James Madison, I would have said that he would have done okay. He would have done good. I did not see the Hoosiers winning championship with Kurt Signetti. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I'll be honest. Like I said, I know the family.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, dude, how are you a Packers fan then, man? You should be a Steelers fan. Like that's what I'm really confused about.
I bought the stock so I can say I own a NFL team.
Oh, nice.
That was it. It's a
Uh,
$250 piece of paper.
which year is it for? Did you buy it? 2002? I know.
It was the 98 stock
Oh,
sale.
wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for like 2028, 2029. Apparently that's when the next one is, so
Yeah.
I need to buy my
And
stock.
and like I said,
Yeah.
it's a $200 piece of paper. I own an NFL team.
That's
I
cool,
get
man.
I get a thing once a year
Yeah, the shareholder
to,
meeting.
for the shareholder meeting at Lambeau
Yep.
Field.
Yep.
It happens towards the end of August. I'm sorry, the end of July.
Yeah.
Uh, it is. I get a thing in there saying to vote for the who I want to for the board of governors
Yeah.
for the team. I got one vote. There's guys that have hundreds.
Yeah.
There's some people that have like 10,000 votes because they were one of the original people that gave Curly Lambeau money back in 1923, I think it was, or something like that. 23 or 25, something like that.
23.
Whenever Curly Lambeau had to come up with a way to get people to keep the team going there in Green Bay. Um, I will say the fact that there is a NFL football team in Green Bay, Wisconsin, to this day is shocking. You got to remember, up until '95, they split the season. They would play one preseason game and then two regular season games at Old County Stadium. Well, they took the Dynamite to Old County Stadium and they had to spend money at Lambeau.
Yeah, it's truly amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there last year, or not, January, Packers and Ravens. No, it was December, my bad. But yeah, man, I want to be a stockholder. So I'm so happy, dude, that the Chicago Bears, right? They're moving to Indiana because they were trying to build a stadium where I live around Arlington Heights, Illinois.
They
So
want
I'm
to build it at the old racetrack that's up there.
Yeah. So, and I used to go see racetrack horses there. So happy and relieved they're going to Indiana because I kind of knew this wasn't going to happen. Like the state of Illinois, like Chicago politics is pretty corrupted, like, and all that stuff. So pretty
Well,
happy they're going to Indiana. So yeah.
There was the other rumor that they were going to toss light $1 billion on fire, toss it in the middle of Soldier Field, and
Yeah, no, that didn't work out.
see if they were going to do that.
No, because it's a historical landmark, that area. Like
Well,
historic
no.
land.
They
but, yeah.
lost the designation after the renovation. Whenever
No,
they
yeah,
landed the
I know
spaceship on
that.
top of
That
it.
was
Yeah.
2003 or something. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But the land is like the Chicago Park District.
Yeah.
That land is all like historical stuff. So what
yeah.
they wanted to do was they wanted to build a stadium on that land, but they're not allowed to apparently. So
Weren't they
Yeah.
going to build it next to Shed?
yeah. Oh, no, not next to Shed, but like where the land is, kind of where Millennial Park is. That
Okay,
area.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay,
That's what
okay.
happened. Also, yeah, it was an historical landmark, and the stadium was used to be
Right,
amazing.
just south of
Yeah.
McCormick Place. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sad that I know that. I've been to Chicago a bunch of times. I had
Yeah,
family that.
that's
Well, they
nice.
don't live there anymore, but they used to
Well,
live in
and
Yeah,
Aurora.
oh,
So, okay, I gotta go. I've
hey,
yeah.
been here a
Daniel,
while.
thank you so much. Hey, just wanted to share this little piece of memorabilia I have. Um, I found this down in the basement. Burst, you recognize this, sir?
Yes, I do, Caden. I get it. Your
The
team
con-
won the championship. Yeah.
no, I didn't. No, this wasn't the championship year. This is when we lost to Miami in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
Oh, I don't. I thought it was
That was
24.
that was the Tennessee game, right?
That was the Tennessee game
Yeah,
that we won.
yeah,
But this, I posted this.
yeah.
This
That's the
wasn't
Tennessee game.
no, but this one is from the Miami game.
Got it. Got
Uh,
it. Got it. Got it.
The jar says 12/31/25.
Ah, got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, of
Got it.
course.
Okay, I thought it was from the Tennessee game.
Burks knows the story. So
Yeah,
Ohio State football.
yeah.
Very this.
I guess
Ohio State football.
guess who had to mediate between Rock and Rant and Moen one night whenever they had
You?
myself and Becky.
Yeah. I saw that. That was a.
It was funny, but we all take it in stride. I do have to go though.
Thanks you so much, Daniel. It's
Take
always
care,
a
man. Nice
pleasure.
meeting you.
Um. Oh,
Watch my short, College Football Mafia.
Please
Alright,
do.
yeah,
Everyone
will do.
watch College Football Mafia. Click like, subscribe, and follow Daniel, guys, and all of them on Twitter. Daniel, great again. Yeah, put it in the chat. Okay. Burks has entered back. Burks, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you just kick out for a
Yeah.
second?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much, Daniel, as always. But Burks, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm. Yeah. I like this Daniel guy. You should be proud you have a guy like him. He's smart. He's educated. He's not stupid. And we need more people like him on your channel.
And that's why the College Football Mafia has been also on this channel. Moen actually appeared on the show about a few months ago. So shout out to Moen, Daniel,
Yeah.
and Nathan the Bomber Brown, the BYU Cougars fan, for showing up, showing love. And during this off season, we talked. Actually, I was on their show on a Sunday, so that was really cool. But Burks, let's start off with. Let me get to you, my friend. And you've talked about Michigan, obviously, a bad program. And quite frankly, I believe that this is the most, in my opinion, this is a downright Michigan team who's got to get a lot of things fixed. And Bryce Underwood is one of them things.
I agree.
And you've said this before, Burke. You've said Michigan's got to change the energy in the locker rooms, especially with everything that they've been going through.
Yeah.
And Burks, let me just ask you, what are your thoughts just based on this season?
It's going to be a really tricky season, man. I'm really not looking forward to it.
But everybody, to those of you who do not know Burks, if you want to give the introduction, please go on ahead.
Yeah, dude, I'm the most hated Wolverine fan in all of YouTube. Fuck all my fan base. They're basically pieces of shit, most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. I only care about smart Michigan fans. If you're not smart, go to hell, basically. And I knew Caden. We used to be enemies. He used to go after his jugular all the time. Then we realized, man, we have some common ground. We hate our own fan bases, dude. He hates Michigan fans a lot as well, Caden. And
well, the stupid Michigan fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Not as much as the smart people.
Exactly. There's only such few smart Michigan fans like me, John U. Bacon, Chilingus. She's a woman who's a reporter, who's even an author. These are the only smart Michigan fans, really, that I know.
That are diehard Michigan fans.
Diehard Michigan fans, they went to the university and they're smart, they're historians, and they're not delusional up their ass. So
So and then
I
let me add back to Bergs. I'll let you get. But Bergs is one of those fans of the fan base that knows like the ins and outs of Michigan, but knows what errors Michigan needs to fix.
yeah.
And Bergs, you were going to continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, they are the worst fan base in all of college football, in my opinion.
And Berks, you do know you had the full permission to say the Michigan names of the dumb individuals.
Yeah, but I'm not going to because I don't want them to see it and then I get more beef, and they attack me more.
Well, you know
And then
what, Berks? The more beef you get, the more people are going to
Yes,
start.
I know, but I already have so much more beef, Caden. You don't understand. There's fans, every Michigan fan, bro, is like on my, and I'm fine with it. I want it to happen, but like, dude, and then when you start to make videos, man, about me, that's when I start to go crazy and they cross the line. So like, they're just clowns, man. They're the worst. They really, Caden. Let me tell you something. They truly are maybe the worst, dumbest fan base in all of college football. They believe that winning percentage, I think I told you this, but they think that winning more games is more important than winning percentage. No, winning percentage is because that's how much percent of games you won. That's of course more important. There could be programs much older, yet they have more game wins. Why? Because their program is older. They were there playing football for more years because they got established before. They're just so dumb. And then, Ohio State, man, I'm gonna just say it. They won more Michigan championships matter more when they are won after the AP poll era. Michigan, most of their championships were all won before 45. Ohio State's championships, they were basically all won after 45, I'm pretty sure. Maybe one was not.
42.
Okay, yeah. So it's crazy. Their championships are worth more. Like they're more important and it makes more value. That's why if you go search up, Caden, greatest programs of all time, Ohio State is always ahead of Michigan. I have yet to see Michigan ahead of Ohio State in the website. Go search it up, man.
And then WVU has more New Year's Bowl game wins than Michigan.
In the 21st century, yes. Right. Not of all time, but yeah, 21st century, which is sad. Ohio State has a lot of New York Six Bowl games, and New York Six Bowl games are the most important games. They're like Sugar, Rose, Peach Bowl, Fiesta, like those are the most important bowl games to win. It brings more value to your program.
Well, so the fact, not even just more value, Berks.
Yeah.
But also those games were considered for the national championship. The most considerably the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, which Ohio State has the most Rose Bowls of any team.
Yeah.
And that's not delusion, that's a fact. Ohio State has the most Rose Bowl wins of any Big Ten school. Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, and the Sun Bowl. Can you believe that? Yeah. And then it would go to the Sugar Bowl. Were the major national championship bowl games. Now, the Sun Belt is not, but the Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, and the Rose Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl are major five. So, and that's the one thing. But, Berks, here's the thing. Let me ask you, if you had the chance to change Michigan, and that's the whole entire aspect of Michigan football, I mean, I'm just going to let you explain. What would you do as AD?
Yeah, I would make sure that I would do background checks with everyone I hire. I would make sure that no one gets into scandals and any of that stuff. I would make sure that, I'm hiring the right people, guys who are not going to be criminals and right AD. And I'll be always monitoring people. And if something is bad, I fire them right away. It's not like, I just keep them there. Right. And I will make sure that if a coach is doing really good, I'm going to give him an extension and a contract and he's going to stay there for a while. Ward Manuel didn't do any of that shit. And that's why he's a bum and a clown. And that's why he's my avatar. So, yeah.
And Bergs, let me say this. If you had the chance to become the head coach at the University of Michigan football team, what would the first steps you take as a Michigan Wolverines fan?
I would be a coach like Woody Hayes, man, a guy who is strong, tough. Even Bo Schembechler was strong and tough. I would be like a mixture of both of those two, guy who, you when you play football, you're like in a boot camp, military boot camp. Guys like Harbaugh and these people were not like that, right?
No,
And yeah,
and
yeah,
you
they
know
weren't.
I agree about that.
Yeah, same with Ryan Day. He's not like that either. He is
No,
not
Coach
a
Meyer and Coach Trussell were the only two coaches that kept this program in line. And
yeah,
I've said that several times. But yet Ohio State fans don't
yeah.
want the old school days of Ohio State
Ryan
being
Day, hey, I'm just gonna say it, man. You guys, Ryan Day is, even though he's a good coach, he's not doesn't have that dog in him. Ryan Day, he
no.
just doesn't.
Now, however, there has been speculations of Urban Meyer coming back to Ohio State. There
That would be your dream come true, right? You would probably buy his T-shirt. You would probably get you would probably go meet him the first day if you could.
Oh, listen, Burks. If Urban Meyer came back, I would say, welcome back, coach, to be honest. Because that program with Urban Meyer was way more elite than,
Hey, and that's why OHL podcast doesn't like you because you probably bashed Ryan Day. Is that true?
I did bash Ryan Day.
I knew it. I knew it. I just know you
I
too well.
bashed him for the sake I asked Jim Tressel, the lieutenant governor of the great state of Ohio, to come back as head coach.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Because Coach Tressel was one of the only coaches in Ohio State history that kept this program in line, but at the same time, took us to national championships, built the defenses that nobody wanted to play every year. Because, I mean, you can agree, Ohio State is still the team that nobody wants to play a year. Was the team that nobody wanted to play every year because they knew it was trouble. Can you agree or not?
I agree.
Because, a hot, elite Ohio State defense coming off a national championship that dominates at the consistent level that they do. And there's no trouble, no shenanigans, no scandals, no nothing. There's no slack. That's the team's worst nightmare. Getting blown out 72-0, 62-0. Like, that mentality of Ohio State needs to come back consistently.
All right. So now, next question: give me an explanation of why you attacked Lucas Hill in his show last week.
Because I don't know if it was from him or one of his followers, but they had said something about Ohio State in his polls in regards to the talent. And then that's where I started saying, I started addressing it to him, quote, attacking him. Was because he'd said something about the running backs and then our receiver room, where I'm like, South Carolina doesn't have a receiver room, because South Carolina has been terrible even since Steve Spurrier's been there. So that's where I was at, Burke. So I just want to be clear about that.
Okay, so do you have major beef with Lucas Hill now?
No, that was just the one time where I was trying to address the elephant in the room with him.
Oh, well, okay. All right. So you're still fine with Lucas Hill then, right?
Yeah, but it's like, if you say something about, anybody position-wise at Ohio State, it's like, I'm going to readdress it.
Oh, God, yeah.
But
Okay.
whereas, Ohio State, VOCFB, the OHL podcast, the Buckeye Scoop, all of them, I've told them, y'all are soft.
Buckeye Scoop you probably hate a lot, right?
You don't know how much I hate the Buckeye Scoop because they're, Doreen's one of their viewers too.
She actually hates them now, but yeah.
No,
that's Menace 2 Sports. That's Menace 2 Sports.
That's Menace 2 Sports. They've talked about how Ohio State is, the way that they are. And I'm like, I've explained, I've bashed Ryan Day so many times. And it's like, you don't understand.
Yeah, because Urban Meyer would never have lost to Michigan. Ryan Day has lost to Michigan, I bet you if Urban Meyer was head coach in 2019, I bet you if Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel were coaches, they would not have probably lost to Michigan.
Over for Michigan.
Yeah, they would probably. I don't even know if they would win a championship. Michigan, who knows? We never would know. But Ryan Day lost so many times to them, and he's soft, and I don't know. And these guys defend Ryan Day like it's our god. I swear.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Mhm.
Ryan Day's not the guy. I mean, he won us a championship, but I mean, Coach Meyer and Coach Tressel would have won us more national
But the
championships.
expectation was that year they were supposed to win the championship, but at least they should have beat Michigan and won the Big Ten as well. They did not do that. So, I'll just be honest with you. They didn't
You know, you
underachieve, but they didn't overachieve like what everyone wanted them to overachieve. They did
I
not
agree with you, Bert.
overachieve.
I
Huh?
agree with you
Yeah, I know. At
because
least you're sensible in this stuff. Like some Ohio State fans are like, "Oh, we won a championship. Who cares?" What do you mean, who cares, man? Your expectations was to beat Michigan and win the Big Ten title as well and win the championship, not just win the championship.
right. But then here's the other thing: Coach Meyer had the wins against Michigan, the Big Ten titles, and then the false BS calls with Clemson. We would have had them, including
Yeah,
Notre Dame. And Notre
and
Dame, we would have ended them, and Alabama.
and you know what's crazy is, yeah, you guys won so many New York Six bowl games as well. Michigan, Jim Harbaugh only won one New York Six bowl game, and that was in that championship season when they won the Rose Bowl against Alabama. Other than that, Urban, Tressel, these guys won multiple New York Six bowl games. They each won a championship. They never lost to Michigan, and they are true Buckeyes no matter what. And to be coached by them must have been great, and they're not soft like Ryan Day is. So yeah.
Right. But Bergs, let me just say this. I will be returning Wednesday. I will be returning uh Friday night. It will be returning 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 8:30 Central. 7:30 Pacific. And then also or that's Friday night. Yeah, Friday night.
Sorry, Caden, but I'm probably gonna go to Lucas Hill's channel on that day.
But I mean, Saturdays I'm gonna be back also,
All
2 p.m.
right, because I'll be honest, Lucas Hill is pretty entertaining. He knows his ball, even though you might not agree with him.
Yeah. But Saturdays 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Central, so your time would be 1 p.m. Central.
Is that your room? Is there? There's not that much Buckeye stuff there, is there, or not really?
I mean the walls,
Yeah, the walls are. I'll say that.
but the one thing I have that's Buckeye, besides the infamous,
Yeah.
is this autograph, you probably recognize the autograph or the game. It was actually it was part of my it was part of my background until I changed it after I got disbanded because of dumb Eric and all them.
Bro, why? they,
Garrison.
oh, Garrison? Oh, don't even talk about Garrison. That guy's gay as hell.
I agree with you, dude.
He,
I
he, he, he takes dick up the ass and the mouth.
yeah. You probably recognize this Burks.
Oh, yeah, that's your. How did you get that autograph, Eric and Wildman?
Zach Bourne. So Zach Bourne, who's in the Hall of Fame, went in 3 years ago. Get this. So I actually went to the same dealers, so the same truck dealership we go to for our parts at the farm, and that's my shop talk. Obviously sponsored by the family farm. Shout out to y'all. And I actually have the hat, the hat from the truck dealership that actually he buys their truck parts from, which conveniently are Macs. So I don't know if you recognize this hat, Burks.
Yeah.
The dealership is right there, McMahon Truck Center, and he's been a big customer of McMahon's for a long time since he started the company with his brother and dad, who also live in Columbus. His dad being a former Alma Mater, Michigan, you wouldn't know, and his brother used to be the former offensive guard for Michigan. Justin Bourne, Burks.
Yeah.
Then he left to Ohio State after 1 year, and then obviously finished his career at Ohio State. So that's
interesting.
how I got that autograph.
Oh, wow.
Was meeting it, actually running into him at Mac. So ain't that a cool story? Ain't that something unique?
Okay, got it.
But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to just let y'all know Friday night I will be back to Friday afternoon. So it'll be like 6:30 ish Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. I don't know what you're doing, Burks, but I'll probably be on before Lucas, most likely.
Okay, all right.
But then Saturday I will be back 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Time, and then Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 Central. Um, but Burks, um, anything else for you and what you got going on?
Nah, nothing, man. I'm just working, chilling, trying to find a girl. That's basically it, really. You know, that's really it. Nothing else, dude. But last thing I just want to say is, fuck Garrison, fuck Doreen, fuck all the dumbass
You know you can say it. You
Ohio
know you
State
can say all of
fans.
it.
Fuck all the Ohio State fans who like to dick ride Michigan fans. Those are the worst and go over to the spring games. And fuck all the stupid Michigan fans. They're all fucking idiots,
Hey, you know
basically.
you can mention every YouTube channel you want, Burks, on here.
Yeah, I can, but because like they're not gonna most likely watch it. But yeah, I know what you're
But
saying.
please do, Burks. Please do. This is where you get your anger out.
That's what I like about your channel. It's like a safe space to say whatever the hell you want.
So go on ahead, Burks. By all means.
Yeah, so fuck all these Michigan dumbass ones on X,
Say
man.
all
They
their
can all
names,
go.
Burks. Say
They
all
get
their names.
Underwood Unleashed, Michigander, fucking that dumb lawyer bitch, Nate Lewis, Go Blue Lexi, that fucking dumb fat dyke bitch. They can all go fuck off. Every single one of them.
And then obviously the Michigan channel at VOCFB
All
is
right,
the
you know
one.
what? I'm not gonna do it with TJ Ronan, but because he's not a bad person, but John Diamos is a soft clown, and yeah, they can all go fuck off, basically,
I
dude.
mean, you can say Johnny Olden, Maniac, Maze Man,
I'm not gonna go there. They're not. Yeah, I'm not gonna go with those
but
people. Just
especially with
saying.
Ohio State. Garrison and Doreen, you forgot some few others.
I already just said that. I said they can all go f off. Those people, right?
Well, especially Tyler, the one that likes to follow, Eric and all them.
I actually like Tyler. He's funny as hell. Actually, he called Doreen like some bad stuff, but and he got banned on X. I don't know if you knew about that, but Tyler is actually funny.
Well, and then,
Yeah.
obviously he talked behind John Kennedy's back a lot.
Who? Tyler?
Yeah.
I like John Kennedy. He's not a bad dude. He's great.
I actually called in. I don't know if you saw, but I called in this morning actually. When I was on my way
Yeah.
out, and I just called him and said like, "Hey, Tyler was talking behind y'all's back because of Chris and all that." Because Chris will tell him to go talk so much crap about Irish fans all the time, you wouldn't believe. I mean, he's literally, Chris and all that. So,
But yeah, no, they're the stupidest fan base, Michigan fans, and yeah, I personally agree with like they're just that stupid, and Moose as well, and these people, a lot of them are such dumbasses. They have a kid when they're not even married because don't know that you need to put a condom on, and they make them pregnant. That's how retarded they are. Like, hey, you only make kids if you're married, in my opinion. That's just how it should be. That's just me. So.
hey, you are not wrong, Burks. And to
That's how
close it out,
retarded they are, these Michigan fans, man. There's a reason why they're called scum, because most of them are scum, actually. The only true people who are the light are people like me, John U. Bacon, and other people like that. So, yeah.
yep. And you know what? To close it out, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to mention to my soccer fans who also watch this channel, Burks. I do got friends that watch soccer. The United Football League champions are going to be back, so I am going to be watching a little bit of that. enjoyable. But Bergs, tell people where they could see you on YouTube. Well, because you don't have a channel, but tell them where you call in and say a holler, where you holler like the holler.
Yeah, man. I call in on channels like Luke Hill, Voice of College Football Alabama, Mark Rogers, these type of guys. I like them. They're not bad people. Like I said, I only affiliate with people who are the light, not evil. Because I just don't like evil people and guys like Jackson and Johnson, or Jackson and Jeffrey, and these guys are good people.
Well, and then
Period.
also, now you've been starting to come on here and you've been speaking your mind, which I do appreciate, by the way.
Yeah, and your channel, at least your channel, I can say whatever the hell I want.
Whereas everybody else is PG, where
Exactly.
I'm rated R to X, but that's just,
Yeah.
that's my rules. Anything goes. But Bergs, I think we should end it off with you
Yeah.
and me, because a lot of people have been asking about you and me doing a show together, and it's like you call in, but it's like you and I have talked about this. Like, we're not going to do a show because both of us would just absolutely tear the house down, and
Yeah.
then everybody would be coming after us, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then everybody from their own fan base would be coming in hot.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh no, it's Caden Bergs.
Yeah. No, we'll think about it. But for now, man,
But for
peace
now,
out.
you'll never know. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If
Goodbye.
you would do me Bergs, you could say, okay, Bergs. Anyways, thank you, Bergs the Wolverine. And as always, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. And as always, stay tuned for more. And you guys have a great night. And let's go. Talker, baby. Later, ladies and gents.